Good morning, Kyle.
Did I piss you off? Don't like the way I mock and scoff. You
Mock
mother go
pro-ice.
pro-ice. That LGBT, Nazi adjacent. Transphobe energy, misogyny baked in your theology. Supremacy culture wrapped up as
I don't have my rap
morality.
down.
'Cause you don't wait.
Don't debate. Hit that block now, bitch. Don't hesitate.
Don't start, don't fake. I didn't come to play.
Ain't got time to fuck with you today. Listen, motherfucker, if you won't engage, if you won't look twice at the rock I say,
then hit that block, do it clean, do it quick, no comments, no sermons, no last minute tricks. You think I need your God to be whole and pure?
I'm atheist, feminist, solid and sure.
I ain't into the grift. It's all a facade, it's a patriarchal system, so does God. Block me, bitch.
Don't hesitate, I see you flinch. Block me now. Ain't no sweat off my brow.
Hit that block, don't stick around. Block me now. Block me now. Yeah, pro-ice, pro-Trump, red hat on display. Same playbook as the KKK.
You cheer for cages, call it law. What the fuck is the line drawn?
If you rather
Hey,
fund
Constant.
wars than feed the kids. If you voted for a
34-time convicted felon.
If you couldn't vote for a woman to
save your
your
life.
life. Block now, bitch.
Exit right.
Oh, fuck.
I said a naughty word. I see you strangling on your pearls.
This song's vulgar. Yeah, so is hate, so is power harder behind church and state. Supremacy ain't culture.
It's right.
Silence ain't peace.
It's bought.
You capitalism feeds bombs, not bread, and you call that values?
Nah, block me instead. Block me, bitch. Don't hesitate, I see you flinch. Block me now. Ain't no sweat off my brow.
With that block, don't stick. Block me
now.
Block me now.
You can go ahead and block me now. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Glitter. Hi,
Still
Tahir.
here, bitch.
So now what?
This ain't politics, this is belief. If my morals hit nerves, find your relief. No essays, no prize, no back and forth. Hit block. Hope your ass is the door number.
Block me.
Bitch, don't hesitate.
I see you flinch.
Block me now.
Ain't no sweat off my fucking brow. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So good to see everybody. You guys, if you're friendly and you want to come up and be a co-host today, the guest box is, but I'm actually going to change the background when we start, after I do my anti-sermon, to God is evil, because apparently the Christians only want to fight, so we're going to let them fight. Okay, we're going to bring them up. We're going to spar. But I started it with this because they never come up for this. Good morning, silly goose. So I thought, okay, I'll start it here. Glitter. So I have time to do my anti-sermon, right, without distraction from them. And then, hang on 1 second. What did I do that? And then we'll switch to God is evil and let them come up. Okay, we'll play the game for a minute. Hang on 1 second. My nose is running. Sorry to do that in the mic. Hopefully I didn't wipe all the makeup off my nose. Thank you so much for the hearts, for the shares, for the likes. Once we get 20 people in here, can we get like a few more shares up? Once we get over 100 shares and 5,000 likes, I'll get pushed out. Also, do your heart me's and collect your points. Don't forget to go up there, click, and hit the claim, because that moves me up in the daily rankings, which helps push me out to the FYP too. Hi, Laith. How are you?
And you got to repost.
Yeah, and repost is good too. So we want to get the shares up to over 100. We're at 81, so I just need, like 19 more. Do all the little... Why is that my gift goal? I want to edit my gift goal.
Yeah, I hit it. I gave you 1 rose. You're welcome.
Thank you. How do I edit? Okay, here we go. Now I can edit. It has changed everything. Like, I really hate it that they just keep changing
Well,
stuff.
they do an update, and it doesn't just like it may just be one thing at a time, but it's like, oh, this thing completely different. Next time, this other thing completely different,
Yeah.
and it still doesn't list the people in order when they request up. Like, come on, guys, how long have we been asking
No,
for
I
this?
know. Come on, right? Okay, so I'm just so you guys remember, if we hit the gift goal, I stay an extra hour. If not, that's okay too. Thank you, Silly. It's so cute, right?
It is. It's pretty cute.
Robin or anybody else who wants to come up, Constant, if you want to come up, or I don't mind having a couple of co-hosts this morning. I do want you to know that I'm going to be doing an anti-sermon first before we get started yapping to Christians. Ty here. I didn't know if you were at work, but I'm glad you're coming up. How are you?
Good. Oh, just
What?
sorry, I had your stream in the background.
Oh, we're like, is
Yeah,
everything okay?
hi. I'll come hang out. I don't know if I'll have too much to contribute, but we'll see. I'm opinionated, so
Yeah, you are opinionated, and I like that about you.
thank you.
I was going to tell you, Crystal, your video that you put up yesterday, where you were like anti crystals coming here. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I didn't want to cry, but I did.
Aw.
So thank you, but also rude.
That's so sweet.
Here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. I started thinking I'm going to lean into the auntie, right? Because everybody tries to figure out, like, I'm not really their mom. They'll be like, I kind of feel like she's a mom to the community, but they can't really put their finger on it. And I'm doing the auntie sermon, so I'm your auntie now. And so I do have a channel in my Discord. If you want a recipe, you want a little advice, you just want to talk to your auntie, maybe you want to vent, okay? And you want somebody who's not going to judge, right? Come to my Discord. Hey, Thrail, good to see you. I fell asleep listening to Thrail last night, and then I hear, thank you, Tahir, for the raid. And I was like, oh, hey, Tahir raided.
Yeah, you wake up, you're like, what's happening?
Oh, Tahir's raiding Thrail. I love my friends. Anyway, yeah, I love to fall asleep to Thrill. I love the conversations. I like how it rarely gets heated, you know. So it's always nice to fall asleep to. I forgot what I was saying because I have ADHD. Oh, anyway, so I did that video because I was at the sink doing dishes and I thought about that myself. I was like, I didn't have any healthy relationships. I didn't have anything to emulate, and I have healthy relationships right now. And I did that. You know, there's no God or Jesus that did that for me. And I thought, I bet there's other people out there just like me that need to know they did that. And so that's why I made that. So I decided from now on, when I have these little thoughts, I am going to turn on that camera and I'm going to tell all of you from your auntie, from hopefully your favorite auntie, the cool auntie who plays video games and likes 420.
Right.
I'm your cool auntie, right?
The auntie that we call when we're like, auntie, I'm in jail. Okay, how much?
Yeah. Okay.
No, we won't tell your mother.
We're not telling Mom. I'm going to come pick you up. We'll go get some Dunkin' or something, and you're going to tell me what happened, baby. Hey, Robin, how are you today?
Good afternoon, Crystal and panel. I am blessed and highly favored.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing good.
Won't he do it, girl? Won't he do it?
What won't he do?
Exactly.
He did too
Hallelujah.
much.
Today, you guys, we have such a good sermon. Now, I was telling people last week that my sermon today is on Tamar, but I don't know if people realize there are two. And so one is about a woman who has to do some things in order to get what's rightfully hers. And another one is about a woman who is great. This is about the first one. And we'll get to the other Tamar much later in the book.
I definitely
So,
didn't know that.
yeah, I didn't realize that either until I said that and somebody goes, "Oh, this is a horrible story." And I was like, "It's not." And then I was like, "Wait, is there two Tamar?" You have to remember that only about 5 to 7% of all of the names in the Bible are women's names. And men are good about writing women and they can't come up with original names. So they just keep naming us Mary, Tamar, and shit like that over and over again. We only get so many names in the book.
Or
know,
blah
that's
blah's
right.
daughter, or blah blah's wife.
Yeah, well, those are the ones that don't get named. But the ones that get named, they just reuse names because they had no imagination for women. You know what I mean? They were like, I don't know, what sounds
But look at all
good?
the generations that they mention. Who begat who?
Yeah,
And they reuse
yeah,
our names.
yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, Mary 3 times in the Gospels, like, what the fuck? You couldn't come up with and they're like, well, a lot of women were named Mary back then. Okay, so what? What are you talking about? Like, that's so dumb. You could have come up with some more names.
But they don't
I
want
love
to
that
try.
his thinks that he's going to tell a bunch of women how to feel about women in the Bible. Kiss my ass, you don't get to tell me how to feel about being a woman or how women are represented in the Bible. And I
Wait,
won't tell you how imbeciles are represented in the Bible, okay?
Also, a woman
period.
being personified is another form of objectification. We would rather be people in the Bible than symbolize something.
True. But I was in Dark's live earlier and somebody went up on his live full chested was like, the Bible lifts up women. Are you kidding me?
They read 1 or 2 stories and they go, see, we gave you a bone here. Why don't you like the story of Ruth or Mary, huh?
Yeah, or
And it's like,
Esther. Look
what
how
are you
important
talking
Esther
about?
is. I like it when they
Yeah.
say
Oh,
the women were the first ones to find out that Jesus had raised from the dead. I'm like, that's because it was their job to go do the stuff to the bodies. Thank you,
yeah, right.
Robin. Come back, no.
Gentlemen, I'll be doing an anti-sermon before I'll start bringing up guests today. If you want to hang out and listen, you're more than welcome to. And I'll bring you up after we are done with the anti-sermon. I just need 2 more people to join the chat and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so, what the hell? 10,000 likes already? You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And we did reach 100 shares. So I appreciate that so much. It really is important. Thank you. And there is a Heart Me flash goal. So if you haven't sent your daily Heart Me yet, I'd appreciate it if you do it now. It's just 1 coin. And when I reach a flash goal, when I get the Heart Me's, it does help boost me into the algorithm. So I really appreciate that. I'm going to start anyway, just because I love this sermon so much. I always don't wait for 20 people. I always say I'm going to wait for
It's
20
too exciting.
people, and I never do. I'm really excited about it. It is such a good story. All right. So put a little church music on in the background for yourself. I actually have one I could play, but it would probably be annoying. I have like a church loop that I use for my podcast. By the way, don't forget, you guys have not listened to episode 2 of Anti-Sermons. And I know this because I get told how many people have listened to it. So go listen to it. It's like I think it's under 15 minutes. It might be 15, 20 minutes long. It's a very short episode, okay? You want me to play a song real quick? Silly, what song would you like to play? I will play a song for you. Yeah, so go listen to Anti-Sermons episode 2. It's about Cain's wife. She is the first person they decide not to give a name to in the Bible. So it's called The Woman God Didn't Name. And it's a really good episode. It's very short. And I'm glad that there's somebody who can rescue you because you need all the fucking help you can get, buddy. I hope that she leaves you one day. I hope she wakes up and realizes what a piece of shit you are, but
Whoa, you're
she's
married?
indoctrinated too. Yeah.
Whoa, sorry. Back to Tamar. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, what song am I playing? Did Silly Goose say? Did Silly Goose give me a song? Silly Goose, what am I playing? Do you remember? What song did somebody tell me a song? I'll play a song. If you don't pick one, I'm playing You Saw It.
Misogyny.
Okay, that's what I'm.
I love that
Misogyny?
one.
Okay. All right, here we go.
That's my get ready song.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You interrupt my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women.
All right, I'll
till
play
you get
Consent
caught.
next.
You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet.
Give me 5 more people in here, you guys.
Bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're missing.
I don't want to be loved the way Jesus loved the church. He called the church a whore. I don't want to be loved like that. Miss me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be.
Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny.
No, we don't. And men only call women whores. There's not even an equivalent word for men because you're such misogynists.
You quote some podcast, call it
But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our
Also, nothing wrong with being a whore here, just because our laws aren't okay with it.
Miss me with your tone. Miss me with your sigh. Miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star. You're just an extra baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
Birdie, thank you. You guys should all be following Birdie is Awake, by the way. Birdie, Constant, all of them do really great lives. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start, and then we'll play Consent when I get done. Hey, Dr. Blitz, good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You guys, I know y'all following Dr. Blitz. Y'all should be. If you're not, like, why would you follow me and not? That would be crazy. All right, here we go. This is Tamar and Palm Trees. A marriage negotiated. Genesis 38:6. Judah took a wife for Er, his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. Notice the wording. Judah took a wife. Not Er found a wife. Not Er chose a wife. Not Er loved a woman. Judah took. That sentence tells you everything about the world Tamar is entering. This is not romance. This is arrangement. This is negotiation. This is transaction between households. In the ancient Near East, the father was the legal head of the clan. He negotiated marriages. He handled bride price. He secured alliances. He arranged the future of the family name. When Judah takes a wife for his son, it means terms were discussed. Agreements were made. Property expectations were set. Reproductive future was calculated. This is a business deal. And Tamar is the one being transferred. In that world, a woman moved from her father's household into her husband's clan structure. Her labor, her fertility, her body, her future children, all now served the lineage she entered. By modern standards, that sounds like property. And in many ways, legally, it was. But here is what makes the story complicated. Even within that system, she was not disposable. Because once she entered Judah's household, she had rights under that contract her father had agreed to with Judah. Rights of protection, rights to provision, rights to produce an heir for the man she married, rights to not be abandoned without recourse. Marriage was transactional, but it carried obligations. Judah was not just arranging a ceremony, he was assuming responsibility. And that responsibility does not disappear when it becomes inconvenient. So Tamar enters this story as someone transferred, negotiated, absorbed into a clan, and yet still entitled to justice within it. The system treated her like property, but the system also bound the men to duty. Her name is Tamar. It means palm tree. In the ancient Near East, palm trees were signs of life in hard places. They marked water. They produced fruit in heat. They stood tall and visible along trade routes and city gates. They became symbols of endurance, and later in Israel's story, symbols of victory. A palm tree grows where other things struggle. That is the name she carries into this narrative. She enters a negotiated marriage. She is transferred into a clan structure. Her future is tied to a lineage that is not her own. And yet the text anchors her identity in something that survives heat. Palm trees are tall and strong. They don't bow to the wind. When I see them, I think of California, my home. I have always felt safe here. People complain about California. They complain about the traffic, the crime, the cost of living. But when I look at those palm trees, I don't see weakness. I see resilience. I see a state that does not bow easily. My politicians are not perfect, but the people here believe in protecting one another. Palm trees remind me of California. Tall, strong, and remarkable. Tamar, palm, resilient under the heat of things. Every verse Tamar is mentioned. Now I'm just going to read the verse where you can find it, and I'm going to read the verse to you. So this is just going to read like a list here, okay? Genesis 38:6. Judah took a wife for Er, his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. Genesis 38:11. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house until Shelah, my son, is grown up. For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. Tamar went and lived in her father's house. Genesis 38:13. It was told Tamar saying, behold, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. Genesis 38:24. About 3 months later, Judah was told, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the prostitute. Moreover, behold, she is with child by prostitution. Judah said, bring her out and let her be burned. Genesis 38:26. Judah acknowledged them and said, she is more righteous than I because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. He knew her again no more. Ruth 4:12. Let your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, of the offspring which Yahweh will give you by this young woman. 1 Chronicles 2:4. Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zerah. All the sons of Judah were 5. Matthew 1:3. Judah became the father of Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Perez became the father of Hezron. Hezron became the father of Ram. This is the synopsis of her story. Tamar is given to marriage to Er, Judah's firstborn. Er dies. The text tells us he was wicked, but it does not tell us that Tamar did anything wrong, because she did not. According to the custom of the time, Judah instructs his second son, Onan, to fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law, to raise up offspring in his brother's name. Onan goes into her. But knowing the child could not be counted as his, he deliberately spills his seed on the ground so that Tamar will not conceive an heir for his brother. He enjoys access to her body. He refuses her legal security. He dies. Now Tamar is twice widowed. Judah tells her to return to her father's house and remain a widow until his youngest son, Shelah, grows up. But the text makes it clear, Judah is afraid. He is not protecting Tamar. He is protecting his remaining son. Time passes. Shayla grows up. Tamar is not called back. She realizes she has been suspended, neither wife nor free woman, neither secure nor released. She sees that the duty owed to her will not be fulfilled. When Judah goes to Timnah to shear his sheep, Tamar removes her widow's garments, covers herself with a veil, and positions herself where Judah will see her. He does not recognize her. He believes she is a prostitute. He approaches her. He negotiates payment. He promises to send a young goat from his flock. This is not coded language. This is a sexual transaction. But Tamar does something brilliant. She asks for a pledge. In the ancient world, a pledge was collateral, security held until payment was delivered. If you promised something later, you left something valuable now. So she does not ask for jewelry. She does not ask for coins. She asks for his signet, his cord, his staff, his personal seal, the ancient equivalent of a signature, the cord that carries it, the staff that marks his authority. These are identity markers. If he refuses to pay, if he denies the encounter, if she is accused, she holds proof. She is not gambling. She is not gambling. She is gathering evidence. 3 months later, Tamar is accused of prostitution and pregnancy. Judah orders her to be brought out and burned. She does not shout. She does not accuse. She sends the identifying items and says, I am with child by the man to whom these belong. Judah recognizes them. And he says, she is more righteous than I because I didn't give her to Shayla, my son. Tamar gives birth to twins. During labor, one hand emerges first and a scarlet thread is tied around it. But the other child breaks through first. His name is Perez. The other is Zerah. The line continues through Perez. Rabbinic teaching. In rabbinic teaching, she is overwhelmingly defended. Thank you. The rabbis notice something important. When Tamar reveals the signet, cord, and staff, she does not publicly accuse Judah by name. She sends the item and says, I am with child by the man to whom these belong. She also she allows him the dignity of confession. The rabbis lift that up as moral restraint. They say it is better to throw oneself into a fiery furnace than to publicly shame another person. Tamar could have humiliated him. She could have exposed him outright. Instead, she presents evidence and waits. That restraint, hang on 1 second, I need to let my doggy out. Second, buddy. Right. That restraint becomes part of her righteousness. Of course the rabbis admire that. Of course men admire that. What they are really saying is this: if a man wrongs you, you are more righteous if you protect his reputation while he recovers from what he did to you. They frame it as holiness. They frame it as virtue. They even say it is better to throw yourself into a fire than to embarrass someone publicly. Of course, that sounds noble, especially if you are the one who benefits from women staying quiet. Because what that often means in real life is, if I mess up, you can be hurt, just don't expose me. Don't let my friends find out. Don't let my family see who I really am. That is manipulative. That is abusive logic wrapped in religious language. And the wild part is, the text gives us the confession anyway. Judah says, she is more righteous than I. In rabbinic tradition, that line matters. It is not a throwaway sentence. It is a public admission of fault from the patriarch himself. He doesn't say, we both messed up. He doesn't say, she trapped me. He doesn't share the blame. He says she is more righteous. The rabbis treat that as a model of confession, owning wrong, naming the righteousness of the one you harmed, and saying it out loud. And some rabbinic teachers connect it to Judah's later transformation. The Judah who once suggested selling Joseph becomes the Judah who later offers himself in Benjamin's place. Now let me let my dog back in. Go to bed. Quit playing. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That was cute. You said quit playing.
He likes to pretend like he can't get up the stairs so that he can sneak around and go under the bed and go play and stuff when he's supposed to be behaving. In that reading, Tamar is the turning point. Her evidence forces his confession. Her restraint gives him room to tell the truth. Wait, did I read that? Yeah, okay. And that's not why Tamar did what she did. She is not being meek. She's being strategic. She gave him a chance. She presented the evidence without naming him outright. She allowed him space for confession. Why? Because if he recognized that she could have destroyed him and chose not to, there was a chance he might treat her differently. There was a chance he might treat their child differently. She was protecting her future. She was protecting her child's future. She was calculating the least hostile outcome available to her. That was not passive righteousness. That was strategy. Christian teaching. In Christian tradition, and now I have to let a cat out. Oh my goodness. This is what it's like when you live in a zoo, people. Don't have as many pets as I do. This is a cautionary tale.
Relatable.
Okay. In Christian tradition, Tamar is not ignored. She is named in Matthew 1. Judah became the father of Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Matthew includes her deliberately. Early Christian writers often say her presence in the genealogy proves that God works through complicated stories, that the Messiah's lineage is not sanitized, that grace moves through scandal, irregular unions, and vulnerable women. Some theologians even compare her to Mary, not in circumstance, but in significance, a woman whose body carries forward destiny. A woman whose pregnancy invites suspicion. A woman through whom the future changes. There are Christian sermons that honor her courage. There are scholars who call her righteous. There are commentators who point to Judah's confession as the moral center of the chapter. She is more righteous than I. That line matters. Judah, the patriarch. Judah, the father of a tribe. Judah, the ancestor of a nation. He says she is more righteous. And yet, when I speak to Christian men about this story, they often reduce her to one word: prostitute. That becomes the headline. They will say, well, she prostituted herself, as if that is the moral summary of her life. And what they do not seem to hear is what that reduction implies, because if she is nothing but a whore, then what does that say about the lineage? If she is morally disposable, then what does that say about the bloodline Christians preach? There is no Jesus without Tamar. And instead of seeing that and saying, of course the Messiah would have a great-grandmother that brilliant. Of course the lineage would pass through a woman who refused to let it die. Of course the story would move forward because a woman was smart enough, bold enough, strategic enough to secure it. Instead, they say, look how God can work through even a prostitute. They turn her brilliance into a morality tale. They shrink her strategy into scandal. They preach grace while erasing her intelligence. Instead of saying Jesus' great-grandmother was so sharp she was willing to do whatever was necessary to protect the line, they say, look how merciful God is to use someone like that. Judah said she was more righteous than he was, but Christian men will still stand in judgment over her. That tension is not in the text. That tension is in the way the text is read by small-minded men. Extra biblical witness, the Ethiopian tradition. If we step outside the commonly used biblical canon and look at the broader biblical world, Tamar does not disappear. In the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition, which preserves a wider canon that includes the Book of Jubilees, her story is not treated as a scandal. The Book of Jubilees, written in the Second Temple period and preserved in the Ethiopian Bible, retells the story of Judah and Tamar with expanded detail. It reinforces the obligation Judah failed to fulfill. It clarifies the household tension. It does not condemn Tamar. It frames the injustice as Judah's failure and her action as the preservation of the line. In Jubilees, the emphasis falls on legitimacy, on the right of the widow, on the responsibility of the clan, on the preservation of covenant continuity. Tamar is not reduced to a moral warning. She is part of sacred history moving forward. In other early Jewish interpretive traditions, she is sometimes described as acting for the sake of heaven, meaning her motive was tied to preserving the promised lineage. Her restraint, her intelligence, her refusal to publicly shame Judah, these are praised. In the Ethiopian biblical tradition, Tamar stands where she stands in Genesis, inside the sacred narrative, inside the genealogy, inside the covenant story. She is not erased. She is not footnoted. She is not cleaned up. There's no alternate ancient tradition that says she was just a prostitute. That flattening is more modern than ancient. Across Jewish tradition, across Jubilees, across the Ethiopian canon, Tamar is treated as justified, strategic, and necessary to the unfolding story. The older traditions do not blush her at her presence in the line. They preserve her. When the evidence speaks. I need a sip of my drink here real quick. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to mute for 1 second. I didn't want to cough in your ears. Sorry about that. Okay. When the evidence speaks. Let's go back and look at what the story really tells us. Feel the heat rising off the stones. 3 months have passed. The whispers have turned sharp. The accusation has teeth. Bring her out. Burn her. You can hear the sandals scraping. You can smell smoke before flame. You can feel the crowd leaning forward, hungry for spectacle. These are men who speak a covenant. Men who invoke the God of the universe. Men who claim authority. And they are ready to execute a woman because they are afraid of what her pregnancy exposes. Tamar stands there. She has already done the work. She identified the breach of duty. Judah failed to give her Shelah. The obligation was his. The law of the clan was clear. He stalled. She secured identity markers, not trinkets, not coins. His signet, his cord, his staff, the ancient equivalent of your signature, your seal, your authority. She waited for the accusation. She did not rush. She did not panic. She understood timing. And now when the fire is being prepared, she presents admissible proof. I am with child by the man to whom these belong. She does not name him. She submits evidence. You can feel the shift. The weight of the seal in Judah's hand. The cord sliding through his fingers. The staff he carries daily now burning in his grip. There is no argument. There's no counterclaim. There's only recognition. She is more righteous than I. That is the confession. That is the verdict. That is the moral reversal. We all remember Erin Brockovich, you know, the legal clerk that Julia Roberts played in 2000. Erin learned how to play the game when she was just a file clerk. She did not start in a courtroom with a law degree and a leather briefcase. She started behind a desk, sorting files, answering phones, watching men in suits move paper like power. And while they underestimated her, she paid attention. The real Erin Brockovich has acknowledged that she used her appearance to her advantage. She understood how men reacted to her. She knew that a little cleavage, a little softness in her tone, a little performance of harmless could open doors that would otherwise stay shut. She was not sleeping her way into evidence. She was studying male ego. She knew that if powerful men thought she was decorative instead of dangerous, they would talk. They would relax. They would underestimate. And while they were looking at her body, she was reading their files. While they were assuming she was a stupid little clerk, she was building a case that would cost a corporation hundreds of millions of dollars. She gathered water tests, medical records, internal memos, signatures. She walked into rooms humming with fluorescent lights and corporate confidence. She slid documents across polished tables, and when the proof hit the surface, the room went quiet. This is where she is Erin Brockovich, because Tamar did the same thing. Tamar understood how men see women. She understood how desire clouds judgment. She understood how ego loosens hands. She used what was available to her inside a system that denied her formal power. The same system that uses women as props for male gratification is furious when women learn how to use that gaze as leverage. When women weaponize what men commodify, they get called names. Whore, seductress, manipulative. I have heard a woman call Jesus' great-grandmother a whore for selling herself for goats. They missed the point. Tamar was not selling herself. She was securing collateral. She was building a case. She was taking down a patriarch who thought he could stall her into silence. Erin Brockovich took down a corporate conglomerate with documentation and nerve. Tamar took down patriarchal negligence with evidence and timing. Both women understood the rules. Both women used the system's blind spots. Both women were judged more harshly for their strategy than the men were for their failure. And let's remember, in the end, she was more righteous than Judah. Let's bring it back to her. Because after all the dust, after the evidence, after the comparison, we are still left with Tamar. So many people read this story and see only one thing: a woman prostituting herself. They do not see breach of duty. They do not see legal leverage. They do not see strategic timing. They do not see preservation of lineage. They see sex. And somehow, when men slaughter entire populations to secure land, when men wage war to expand borders, when men manipulate law to protect power, that is called leadership, that is called strength, that is called destiny. But a woman uses the only leverage available to her inside a system designed to silence her, and the response is, burn her. The Bible itself does not call her immoral. Judah says, she is more righteous than I. Judah, the patriarch, the father of a tribe, the man whose name is Judah, a tribe of Judah. The word Jew comes from Judah. Judah is the father of the Jewish people. And he says she is more righteous. Let that sink in. The father of the tribe that becomes the Jewish nation declares that Tamar is more righteous than he is. The text does not stutter. The text does not hedge. The text sides with her. And yet generations later, people still flatten her to a whore. They missed the point. These men who claimed covenant, who claimed Yahweh, who claimed divine backing, were too afraid to act. Too afraid to honor obligation, too afraid to risk loss, too afraid to trust the very God they preached. Their fear nearly severed the line. And Tamar, watching it happen, understood something they did not. If the promise is going to survive, someone has to act. So she did. Not because she was immoral, not because she was reckless, but because she could see the cowardice clearly. She could see the lack of faith. She could see the stall. She could see the collapse coming. And instead of waiting for men to grow some balls, she took responsibility for the future. And if Christians are going to preach that Jesus comes from the line of David, they need to understand what that means. No Judah, no Jews. No Jews, no David. No David, no Messiah. There is no Jesus without Tamar. The great-great-grandmother in the lineage did not sit quietly while weak men delayed destiny. She moved. And instead of seeing that brilliance, instead of seeing that strength, people still reach for the easiest label, whore. Women have carried that word for centuries, thrown at us for surviving, thrown at us for using leverage, thrown at us for refusing to disappear. It is time to stop accepting the labels men hand us. It is time to stop calling each other the names that systems built against us. It is time to look at women like Tamar through our own lens, not distorted by male anxiety, not filtered through purity culture, not flattened by discomfort. Tamar was operating inside a structure designed to control her, and she outmaneuvered it. That is not shameful. That is queen behavior. That is leadership. That is power under pressure. And just in case anyone is still confused, she was more righteous than Judah. That is the final verdict. And that is my anti-sermon for today.
Applause, applause.
I
Yay!
need an applause machine. So now I will, are you guys ready to bring on the heat? Should I change the backdrop? Let me see if anybody's still in the guest. We have one person in the guest box. Let's see if they're still here. I don't think they are. I'm going to change the backdrop and we will choose violins.
Let's go.
I also just realized that I suppose she by default became Judah's concubine since the line, went down through her. But it never explicitly states that, she just she just gave birth and then the line continued. Once that had happened, you don't care what happens to her, right? Like that's not something that's considered
Oh, of course
important.
not. No. Oh, no, that's not important at all. No, we do not care what happens to a woman once we use her body. That's not important. She's just a vessel to continue the line.
I think it's also really telling that in today's time, people are calling her a whore. But and from how I would understand it, she only had one quote unquote client, and even then, it was strategic. Like she was, you
Yep.
could call her an enticer or a solicitor, but how are you gonna call somebody a hoe if they only had one client? That doesn't make no sense. I'm not.
Right?
I'm not the. If I am the head of a kitchen for one night, that doesn't make me a chef. It just means I was the
That
head of a kitchen
part.
for one night.
And you know what she did too? Like, man, when I look at these stories, I just see so many things I didn't see when I had those stupid fucking misogynistic bloodstained Jesus goggles on. She didn't go for Shayla. Okay. And let's face it, he was a kid compared to her. Okay. He was. She went for the patriarch. Okay. Men would have taken this story and they would have went for the kid. She went for
That's a good
the
point.
patriarch.
That is a really good point. I mean, that he must have been a teenager probably at the time anyway. Like, and I'm assuming if I'm thinking right, she would have been in her late 30s or 40s. So yeah, I definitely think she made the right play.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Men would have been, I was owed her, so I'm going to go for her. But she was like, first of all, ew. She probably was like, ew, I didn't want Shayla to begin with. And, and then she was like, I'm going to go for the patriarch. He's the one who negotiated all of this and then fell through. So he's the one who owes me, you know? Hey, you guys, a few announcements. If you are on my Discord, which you should be, link is in my bio. We are going to be doing a sleepover on March 13th, where we're going to all hang out in my Discord and watch Twilight because I hate vampire movies and and so I am going to watch it with all the people who love Twilight. And so if you want to join us, just come over, join my Discord. But I'm going to be setting this up today. We're going to be doing a one-shot D&D game. I don't have a date for that yet, but I need at least 4 people to play. I have a dungeon master. Mech Jack has volunteered. He's amazing. And we're going to play like the 1980s like rules or whatever. So if you want to play some D&D for a one-shot, it won't be a regular continuing game. It'll just be a one-shot. Let me know. Join the Discord. I think that's also I put a question in there for the week, so make sure you go answer the question. We're helping each other deconstruct through a series of questions. I got the idea from Board Agnostic, who puts a question in their Discord, and I was like, I love that. Helps you think about your deconstruction and where you're at.
I love it.
I don't go. That was weird. My headphones made this like really deep kind of bassy sound.
And what's really funny is that this was before, the Mosaic Laws. I was just thinking about Tamar, however you pronounce her name.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't illegal for Canaanites to prostitute, but because it was her, they were going by some laws that they had apparently made up in their own minds, right? And
Yeah.
he didn't get in any trouble.
No, he doesn't get in any trouble. Men never get in trouble in this book. I mean, you never see a man burned, you know?
Yeah, I like that it says that, like, it's like after his wife passed, he was comforted, and then he went and saw a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, as long as he was comforted.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, Tamar just joined. I just did an entire sermon about your name. All right, we have.
That's funny.
Well, Brent, I tried to bring you up early and you didn't come up. Are you here or not? I'm going to move on. You guys, have you met Jamal?
Hi there.
Never had the
Hi,
pleasure.
Jamal. How are you today?
I'm
Hi.
fine. How are you? Can you hear me?
Oh, I have a volunteer on my YouTube. Yeah, hang on 1 second. Let me see what I got going on over on my YouTube. So today we're talking about God is evil. I am going to tell you one thing just to start off, Jamal, just so we don't waste our time on this conversation. I don't want to talk about whether we have objective or subjective morality unless you can 100% prove to me right this minute that objective morality exists on this earth. If you can't prove that it exists, I don't want to talk about it, okay? I want to talk about how we know God is evil based on his own definition of evil and what he does in the book to show that he doesn't follow that.
So what
Can
God are
we
we
wait
talking
really
about?
quickly, Jamal? I do have a question for you. Crystal, is it okay if we have him define what he thinks is evil?
Sure, absolutely. Real quick, let me say something to this. Inquisitor. Okay, my Discord should be in my link tree. So check out my link tree and come join my Discord. I would love it if you did that. That would be amazing. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead. Hey, Shadow. Quan or Shadow, if you want to come up, come on up. Or both of you. I don't care. Go ahead, you guys. You can continue.
Yeah, what's your like what do you consider evil? If I just walked up to you and I was like, what do you think, what would you classify as evil?
Yeah, I would just say anything that's a sin or anything that's contrary to the greatest commandments of God.
Like what?
Especially,
Like what?
well, Jesus gave the two greatest commandments. Number 2 is to love others as you love yourself, to treat others the way you want to be treated, aka the golden rule. And the first and greatest commandment is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength.
Of something that would and would not be a sin be evil by that definition.
What would be evil by that
Yeah.
definition?
Yeah, what would be evil, and then what would be something that would not be evil?
Like, want me to give you an example?
Yes.
Hey, Pink Beard.
Yeah, I would say, like lying to someone. That can be
Is evil?
classified as evil, or it could be.
Okay, so lying is evil. Okay. So what is not evil?
What is not evil?
Yeah, is there a sin that is not evil? Is what I'm asking.
No, I would say like all sin is evil.
Okay, so evil is everything that's a sin, which is anything that goes against God or loving your neighbor.
Yep.
Okay, so what about verses where God orders things that harms other people? Are those laws then evil?
I think first we wanted him to define evil. Which
I'm so sorry.
It's
I
anything.
took over.
That's okay. That's that's okay. Okay, so anything that's a sin or goes against. What do you mean goes against God? Like, isn't that a sin? Like, is there something that's not a sin that goes against God?
Is there something that is not a sin that goes against God? Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, so anything that's a sin would be evil, is what you're saying then, basically.
Yes.
I don't know if you were here for this whole auntie sermon that we just heard, but prostitution, for example, would be something that would you consider that bad?
Well, wait, I want to continue where I'm going. I'm sorry. I don't want you guys to take over yet. I still want to talk. Okay, so anything that is a sin, but God can't sin. So what you're saying then is that no matter what God does, it's never evil. So you just believe in divine command theory. Is that correct, Jamal?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I believe in divine command theory. I mean, I think there's different shades of that. But I would say that, that anything that God does, I would say that is not evil because God cannot commit evil.
Well, then that's divine command theory, right?
That's divine command theory. Exactly. That if you believe that God can't do anything evil, no matter what he does, because he is God, then that's just divine command theory.
I mean, I don't know if that technically is divine command theory, but okay.
Literally is. Literally.
Well, how would it be different? What's the difference? What's something that would be divine command theory, but that would not be divine command theory that God could do? That's evil.
Well, divine command theory entails that God is commanding something that is always morally good, right? But what I'm saying is that whatever God does cannot be evil. So I don't think that's technically
divine. So does God do it because it's
hang on
good?
1 second, Lathe. Hang on 1 second. Kwan, you wanted to say something real quick. Kwan?
Thank you. Jamal, is an abomination a sin or evil?
Yep.
So if God then turns around and does the same thing that he declares to be an abomination, has he done an evil thing?
Nope.
But you said an abomination is evil.
Because we can special plead with God because God is the arbiter and he is the
That's
truth.
divine.
So
Period.
it is what it is.
But doesn't he
Like
declare
his
that this thing is
commandments.
evil? But wait a minute. He doesn't. It's not a commandment. It's not a thing that he says, if human beings do this thing, then they shall be an abomination. He says, I hate this thing and it is an abomination. And then he turns around and does it. Is it still an abomination when he does it?
Well, can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, you could just look at like Proverbs 6, where he declares those things that he hates that are an abomination to him. He
Yeah.
does every last one of those things on that list.
No, he
So
does
I'm
not.
just, yeah, I've got scriptures for all of them.
You're
So
just lying.
hey, okay, thank you. I didn't need you to interrupt me. So he does every last one of those things on that list. So they become unabominated when he does it. I don't know
An
what you're saying.
abominator?
Yeah, unabominated. Like he declares these things to be an abomination. So when he does them, are they no longer an abomination?
Debominated.
Yeah, give specific
Debominated is wonderful. I
examples.
love that.
Yeah, can you give like specific examples?
Yeah, I just
Do you want me to read in Proverbs 6, Kwan? And then you can give the examples of where he goes against these?
sure.
What verses am I reading?
I think it's what 18. These 6 things the Lord hates. The 7 are
Oh, yeah, there it is, 16.
16, yeah.
There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes,
That's
a
not
lying
God.
tongue.
Not God.
Excuse me, Jamal, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? When I'm reading or talking, you mute up and be quiet, okay? And then I'll respect you and you respect me, okay? Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that hurry to run to evil, a lying witness who testifies falsely, and one who sows discord in a family. Now, we'll take them one at a time, and Minnie Kwan can show you, okay?
Yeah, so go ahead, Quan.
Thanks for the second permission. Crystal giving me the first one. So hey, Empress. So a proud look, like that's just like arrogance or self exaltation. Like he does that all the time, right?
Yep. Are you okay, Jamal? Are you an adult? I thought you were because,
I'm
I've
sorry.
known you for years. So if you can't
I'm
be
an
an adult,
adult.
then I'll mute you so that she could talk, okay? Because I'm not going to listen to you giggle like you're in middle school because you can't handle your emotions. It's very emotional of you. Go ahead, Minnie Kwan.
Yeah, Jamal, don't run, okay? I want to hear this.
So where he's saying things like, I am Yahweh and there is none else, right? Where he asked Job, he's like, where were you when I hung the constellations in the sky? Like he's always exalting himself. He's extremely arrogant. I don't think there's any
Can
case
I respond
against
now?
God doing things like that.
Now, while she's talking, did you not hear that her voice was still talking? We wait, and when she, stops for a second, then you can respond, okay? Because that's how conversations work. When we talk over each other, people who have closed captioning for the hearing impaired cannot tell who's talking. They cannot follow the conversation. Now you can respond.
Yeah. So I think what you just said is a bunch of nonsense and you're reaching. And I don't think what you said was actually compelling. It's not going to convince anyone that God is
So can you give your
prideful.
argumentation for
So
why it was? Like
I'm about to get into it,
insulting?
and I'm not even insulting the person. I'm just saying that her case that God is proud
And I
is a
so prove that it is.
that's
Prove
what
that
I'm
what
about to
she's
do.
saying
But
is.
you keep
Give some
interrupting me.
verses.
Yes, I'm
Jamal,
about to do it.
just
But
get
you
to
keep.
the point.
Can
Jamal,
I get
just
into
get
it?
to the point.
Like,
Do
can you
it.
stop bullying me? Like, this is like so sad on you
Jamal,
guys.
calm down.
Like, stop
You
bullying me. Let me talk. Calm
if you're
down.
gonna say that I'm bullying you, you have to leave, and you know that. You're
Okay,
not
then
new.
go ahead and bully me off. Go ahead.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And you guys can block Jamal for Jesus, please, because if he does that, he knows what he's trying to get the live taken down by accusing me of something because he had no argument to Quan. So me telling him to get to the point, he had to cry because he was like, oh no, I have to prove myself. So I better say something that's going to get them in trouble. I get their live taken down.
Poor
Can one of you please
Muffin.
find Jamal and block him? One of my mods, please find Jamal and block him.
Yeah, I called a lot. I
Hey,
knew he was going to run.
yeah. Oh, you don't know how? You should be able to look through the people up here and find him and block him. If not, I'll find him later and I'll block him. J Rob was in the guest box. he ran too.
Oh, J-Rob.
Hey, Shadow. Hi, Mini Quan. How are you all doing?
Hello, lovely.
Hey, Mini Quan, Hope would like you to still go through the verse and show the rest of your evidence for it because they're taking notes.
Okay,
You're
sure.
reconstructing? You're reconstructing or deconstructing, Hope? Why would you reconstruct? Don't do that. Hey, Eddies.
Well, hopefully, if you are considering reconstructing, this gives you a good reason not to, because this guy
Okay, it was
wavers.
deconstructing.
Oh, so as far as like the proud look is the first one. I have Isaiah 45, 5-7, where he's like exalting himself. Like, you could pretty much open the Bible to any part. God's like, I'm the only one. Like, there's no case against that. A lying tongue. So there's that Ezekiel 14:9, where God says, if the prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I, the Lord, have deceived the prophet. Right? So what is a lie? It is a verbal deception. And if he gives that deception to hand to the prophet, then he is the liar. He's the original lie. Yeah. Hands that shed innocent blood. The unaliving of all of Egypt's firstborn, like that had nothing to do with the conversation with Pharaoh. Like, those people were completely innocent. And he even went the animals. The firstborn of the animals, even if a person was enslaved, but they didn't have that blood marker on their doorpost, their firstborn were unalived. Like, no case against that. A heart that devises wicked plans, where he admits that he is the one that creates evil. But here's the thing. Leviticus 26, 26:29, where he tells them if they don't obey him, he's going to punish them 7 times over for their sins, and that they're going to eat their children, right? This hadn't been mentioned before. He is the originator of eat those babies, right? That he came up with that idea. And I don't think there's any justification for, or how it could be righteous to curse somebody to eat their children. That's wicked, right?
That is really fucking wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I don't think I would even come up with that, right? Like, if I was thinking, oh, I want to get revenge on somebody, I would go like, I hope you unalive or something like that. I wouldn't go, I hope you starve so badly that you eat your own children. What? What?
Yeah, wicked
That's
is the perfect word
crazy.
for it. Like, seriously.
He could have made like everybody's pinky finger wither up and fall off or something. Like he could have done anything. But he's like, you're going to eat your kids. That's pretty wicked. And that idea originated from him. Number 5, feet that are swift to run to evil or run to mischief, it says I have. You remember Uzzah? Where he was like trying to prevent the ark from falling down. Like he acted so quickly. Bam.
Yeah.
And like it took no time. He didn't even consider like they're bringing the ark back. They're celebrating. Everybody's happy. We're finally getting it back from the Philistines, and we're gonna be blessed. And the oxen jet forward, and the cart jostles, and he perceives that the ark is getting ready to fall. The precious ark that they all care about. And he doesn't want it to fall and be dashed into pieces. So he like reaches out to stabilize it, which is an automatic response.
Plus, we have
by
reflexes
the way.
it's an automatic response. Our brain goes catch that before it falls.
What you would think God would want someone to do, like that's the easy assumption is like, oh, God would want this.
Right. And like, what about Job too? The devil's just hanging out with him and he's like, hey, have you thought about Job?
Yeah.
Have you looked at him? You could go tempt him a little. Go fuck with him.
Yeah, he brings it up. Satan was just telling him what he was doing, and then God was like, ooh.
You want to drag my buddy through the mud? So
I always wonder what was the one that he didn't hate but was an abomination. I always like to think about which one.
No. They're all.
Well, no, because doesn't it say 6 things that God hates, 7 that he finds abominable?
Yeah, they're all 7. There are 7 of them.
I think that it's like a poetic emphasis, if you will, Laith. It's like if I said there are 5 things that I love. 7. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I see.
It's like a realization. You know what I'm saying? Like there's 6 things.
I can see them writing 7. It down. It's like, wait, but what's the
Mara says hi.
Well, also these were things that that they chanted and sang. So that's why a lot of times the Old Testament sounds repetitive and boring, because it was meant to be like a chant or to be something you sang.
Oh yeah, I always forget that.
So it was supposed to be a little poetic,
My inner old Christian is coming out and going, this is what those kids are talking about when they say the 6, 7. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh.
That's right. This verse is 6, 7. 6, 7. God was up there.
There's a denomination somewhere that absolutely believes that.
Yeah, for sure. Ghost, why don't you come up and talk? I can't invite you up because you I don't know, you're private or something. But come up and talk. Tell us about it.
Are you ready for 6, 7? 6, 7. Okay, so 6. This is really, really easy. A false witness who speaks lies. Well, the promise to Adam was like, in the day that you eat the fruit, you'll surely die. And that ain't happened. So he spoke a lie. And then number 7, one who sows discord among brethren. He does that a lot. Judges 9:23. He sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. Jesus said he came to bring a sword and not peace, and man's foes will be of his own household. So, yeah, he definitely.
Well, on top of it, I feel that the entire like Old Testament, he is literally pinning brother against brother, sister against sister, like Cain and Abel, Esau, Jacob, Leah and Rachel, is it Leah and Rachel, Leah and Rebecca? I always get
Leah
Rebecca
and
mixed
Rachel.
up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Esau
it is
was
Leah
the
and Rachel.
son of Rebecca.
Yeah, okay. I always get the Rachel and the Rebecca mixed up. Oh, I cannot keep those two women apart for some reason. But anyway, like he does that. He loves it. He thrives on there being discourse.
Separating families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the thing about like if your brother speaks against the Lord, unalive them or cut them off? I can't remember which it is.
Yeah, he's saying like your hand is supposed to be the first in stoning them.
Luke and Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think there's any case. So when they go like, oh, by which standard? I always go by God's own standard. If he says something is an abomination, then, maybe that is an abomination. But when he does it, is it still an abomination? If the answer is no, then it's been unabominated. When did it become re-abominated? I don't know.
It's like a quick push pause just for God.
Yeah, it's debominated and then it's rebominated. Okay.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask him. Like, because he literally said, the last guest, out of his own mouth verbatim, it's not immoral. He said it's not immoral always, or something like that. I guess I
It's
can't
not
remember
immoral
exactly
if
what
God
he
does
said.
it, because God can't do anything that's a sin.
Right.
So therefore, he just defined something into existence that is illogical.
Yeah, but
he
then you
literally
can't
said
say
we could special plead for God. He said
Yeah.
we can special plead for God. Those were
Yeah,
his own
yeah.
words.
He just
But
went, yes, that fallacy.
I'm
But
just
you know
saying,
why
like,
that doesn't
when you
work?
say it's always good, then at what point is it no longer always good? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, when does always stop,
Yeah.
The reason why it doesn't
What were you
work for
gonna say,
me
Min?
is because it's not making a declaration of like these things outside of me are this thing. He's speaking to his emotional state, how God feels internally about these actions. So if it's God's personal feelings about it, he's saying, I hate these things. They're an abomination or disgusting to me. When he does them, he still feels the same way.
knowingly does them? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, ew, I can't, like, you ever did something icky? Like, ew, I can't believe, I did this icky thing. Like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you were at the dog park, okay, and your dog poopsies, right? And you don't have anything else. Like, you should always pick up after your dog poop because somebody might step in it. Like, it's disgusting when
Yeah.
people leave their dog poop. You ever heard of parvo, right? But then your dog poos, and then you don't have anything to pick your dog poo up with, right? It's still disgusting. You still think it's disgusting that you left your dog poo, but you just did it. It's not like undisgusting now. It's still disgusting to leave your dog
Right.
poo.
Yep.
Right. Even if you think you had a reason, because you didn't have anything to pick it up with, right? No, it's still disgusting.
It's true for thee, but not for me. And that's really what God does the entire Bible. Because if he does something, it's fine. He can touch the Ark of the Covenant, he can go into the most holy place, but if a person does it, then nope.
To me, this really speaks volumes because from the Tanakh Jewish standpoint, they wrestle with their text and they're able to see that their God is fallible. But when the Christians appropriate it, that's when the God becomes infallible, which is where they have to start pulling all of these fallacious, nonsensical ideas to make excuses for the God comes from. It's sad that people don't know the origins of where these texts come from.
I never did. I have to say, like, you're taught to not look at these things, You're indoctrinated into this religion as a child, and your parents teach you whatever, like, kind of flavor of Christianity they are, right? And most of us have some form of Christianity that says, read the Bible, but trust authority to explain it to you. Lean not unto your own understanding of it. And because of it, most people just rely on the Sunday sermon, the occasional Wednesday night small groups, the Bible study that was paid for curriculum from Answers in Genesis, and so we learned such a fucking watered down, actually, apologetic version of what the Bible actually says.
Intentionally
Especially-
leaving out the bad stuff to deceive you.
Oh yeah, you don't read Deuteronomy 22. Pastor doesn't preach from that
No.
chapter. And if we're children or even like young adults, these are people, like I went to a Christian school, but these are people that you trust and you believe. And especially when it's like in a school environment where they tell you, like this is how you spell this word, this is the, Pythagorean theorem, and Jesus is God. Like why you have no reason really until you get a little older to even begin to think like, oh, maybe that's not true. And then what does that mean about that person that told me it was true? And it's like this big, like it affects all of the relationships because you go, well, why would these people wouldn't lie to me?
And there's lying by omission. So just saying, they're actively sinning in order to teach the religion. It's so diabolical.
Yeah, if
And
we
nobody
had thought crimes,
questions
then that
them.
would be a thought crime too, right? Like if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. Well, if someone doesn't tell you something, isn't that a sin?
You know what's funny? I just thought of, if a pastor was up at the pulpit on a Sunday morning and he was preaching and he was flat out saying things that were just lies, not true, something that we could factually check, it would be considered rude of me to point that out during the service, but not that he lied.
Mm-hmm.
Is lying a sin, though?
Interruption.
Just checking. Is lying a sin?
I'm not saying, I didn't say that it was a sin. I said that it would be considered rude of me to interrupt and not rude of him to lie. So I'm not even counting the sin part. I'm just counting rudeness. Yeah. And lying is not technically a sin. Only, thank you, Board. You guys make sure you're following Board Agnostic. Thank you, Orion. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Isn't that octopus so cute and it matches my headphones?
What's really wild to me is how they may even make excuses for the pastor too. They might say, well, they may have been telling a lie in actuality, but there's a spiritual truth behind it. They do the same special pleading for their God that they will do for their pastors.
It's really funny too. I'll tell you guys something. I picked up a bunch of books at an estate sale again, and so one of them is this book by Eusebius. Okay, it's the history of the church, and I was like, wait, I think Eusebius is the one who said it's okay to lie if it furthers the gospel. So I decided to chat GPT that shit, right? And I was like, hey, is Eusebius the one who thought it was okay? And I got apologetics, and I was like, hey, I'm not fucking asking for your apologetics. I'm literally asking, like, is he not? You just fucking said he basically said it. Why are you like, oh no, I'm not doing apologetics. I'm just making sure. I'm like, so he is the one who said it. And then it came back with more apologetics for why he said it, right? And I was like, this is kind of pissing me off now. So I went over to Jared and I'm like, am I right? Eusebius is the one who said that, right? He was like, yes, you are. And I'm like, okay. So I wanted to know before I went. And so then I said to ChatGPT, look, the reason I'm asking you is because I bought this book. And when I go into reading it, I want to know who the person is that wrote it. Like, are they okay with lying to me? Because I want to know that, right? And he's like, oh, yeah. Then, yeah, you're right. Eusebius was okay with lying. Why did it take that much, Chat GPT? Why?
Because it's
Why
biased.
are you in
It's
apologetics?
biased. It does that all the
Right?
time. It always gives you the apologetic.
And intellectually dishonest. What the heck?
But
Right? Hey, Joel. Joel, you should come up and say hi to me.
yeah, Joel,
I
go
see you
up and
on
say hi.
other
I've got
people's
a
live. You come up and say hi to them, and you don't me. And I'm like one of your oldest friends on this app.
damn, Joel. All
At
right, but I gotta
least
drop
one
anyway.
of the
I
oldest.
gotta go back.
All
Bye,
right,
Katie.
Katie. Good to
Bye.
see you.
Bye.
Good to see you
Bye,
Have
too.
a good
Katie.
day. Don't work too hard.
Never.
But yeah, I think you're right, Crystal, about the lying thing, because doesn't, what's her name? Rahab? She lies, right? In Jericho?
Yeah.
Because isn't it just
Is
bearing
it Rahab
false
Mayform?
witness? I think is it Rahab? Or is she the one? I can't remember.
I can't either, but it is absolutely perfectly. You do have to keep Chat GPT in line. It is perfectly okay for God to lie. He tells you, he sends lying spirits. He says, if a prophet tells you a false thing, it's me who told the prophet to tell you that. He sends lying spirits all the time. So I don't know why people think God isn't okay. He rewards people for lying.
Exactly.
He is the one who tells what's his fuck to Abraham to lie about Sarah. God says, hey, just tell him that's your sister, not your wife.
Exactly.
And
That's
then
what I
punishes
was.
Pharaoh for the lie.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Because when we were talking, I was thinking, wait, God isn't against lying. He encourages lying. He lies himself. That's why I was like, wait, it's okay. So that's not a bad thing, according to the Bible, anyway.
No, it's not.
Like
I was
with
gonna
most
say
things in the
that.
Bible, the answer is it depends on who you are, if you're God, and also what passage you're reading. If something
Honestly.
is right or wrong.
Robin, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that Gemini is not any better than ChatGPT. It may actually be slightly worse. The people who programmed Gemini have actually come out and apologized, saying that they only did what they did because they were told to do it that way. And Gemini
Mm.
also
Wow.
has a specifically Protestant evangelical narrative to its bias. It's very strange. So if you ask it like a Catholic or an EO question, it'll give you a Protestant apologetic for it. It's really strange. But yeah, they said that
Wow.
they
That's
apologized
really
for it and
strange.
that they said that that they apologized for it and that they are going to try and change that from Gemini's programming. But as it would turn out, when you have something that's like embedded into the AI's programming and it's been there for so long, it's actually difficult to undo that. So yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
Well, and it's hard enough, even even if I know, like the apologetic, but then you go, I don't think that's right. Doesn't it actually say this? And you put it in Google. Sometimes, the first 8 things you get are all apologetics websites. Like like even me myself knowing what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
If
that's
I
true.
didn't know it, I wouldn't have any idea.
I use
And
it
to
as a
be
search
fair to my,
engine.
yeah, that's what I do too.
And I
And
always
to
say
be fair to my
explicitly
Chat
no
GPT,
apologetics. So I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe you got to code it like
mine
that.
is, you do have to code it like that. And to be fair to mine, it did say that he said that he quoted him, and it says something about um like falsehoods are inevitable or something like that was the actual quote. So what my Chat GPT was doing was saying it doesn't say he's okay with lying, and I was like, oh my god.
He
Okay, that's
clearly
not the
is.
exact quote.
Come
And
on.
so
He
when
didn't
I
say that.
right, and so when I spelled it out to the ChatGPT that I am asking you because I'm reading his fucking book and I want to know like what kind of a person authored this, then ChatGPT was relented and was like, oh, oh, okay, well then yeah, he was okay with falsehoods in order to forward the church.
Yeah, and that is one of the big things that kind of aided in my deconstruction is knowing, Because like you are taught to believe everything that is coming out of the words of your pastor and like, you know, the church fathers and what have you. But then when you look into it, you find that they were dishonest, encouraged dishonesty to bring it down the line to what it is now. So how can you trust any of it?
Exactly.
You mentioned you
Crystal
see
J,
this, Crystal. Oh, sorry.
I
I'm
gotta
What were you
sorry.
make
gonna
some
say,
very
Paul?
important. I gotta make some very important phone calls. You know my situation, so I gotta drop off the piano.
Okay, before you drop, I want you guys to follow Quan. This is my friend, and she's so fucking smart, and you guys should be following her, and you should be watching Quan, Board Agnostic, all of them when they go live. But also in my Discord, in my little, I think it's called Cup of Kindness. I have Quan's information. She could use our help right now, and any help is help. I don't care if you've got $1, $2, if you can gift her, whatever you could do to help her. Okay. Quan, can you tell him really quick what happened and why you're down and out right now?
Yeah. So I'm a hard worker. You know, I am.
Yes.
I'm a truck driver, and I fell and tore my ACL. I finally got my MRI results back. My ACL is in two pieces, but I'm still
Shit.
fighting for my workers' comp benefits. They barely just cleared my medical stuff because this is the thing they do. They make you fight for it. So
Yes.
just kind of in a pickle.
And so she can't drive with a torn ACL. There's going to be, so we're down and out
Nope.
for that. There's going to be surgery. There's going to be recovery. There's going to be all of that. So if you can at all, send a couple dollars to Miniquan. I have her information in my Discord. Go check it out. Send her gifts. Check her bio too. And let's help Quan be able to, not feel stressed out while she's also down and out, because it sucks. It sucks when you're already in pain, you're tired, you're exhausted, and you can't work, and the bills start piling up. I love you, Quan.
Yes, that is
Well,
the
sorry to hear
situation.
about that.
Thank you. I love you too,
Hopefully,
Crystal J.
it'll
We love you,
get
Quan.
easier.
Love you back. Thank you. I appreciate the love and support. Listen, thanks psychiatrist for SSRIs. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
Because
true.
I would be
100.
sliding down the
You
wall
have
right now.
Cash App, right, Quan? You have Cash App?
Yeah,
Do you have Venmo?
I don't have Venmo, but I
Okay.
do have like
Just
Cash App.
Cash App.
Yeah, I get PayPal. Yeah. But my Cash App link is in my bio. It's been there for years and nobody ever used it until this happened. It's hilarious.
That happened to me too when I had to have surgery last year. All of a sudden, I was like, why am I getting a Cash App notification? Oh, wow, somebody helped me. And it was really nice. So hopefully we can help you too. I hope you have a wonderful day and get some rest today, Quan.
All right, thank you. I'm
It
not
was
gonna
nice
rest
to
though.
meet you.
Bye.
It was great meeting you. I'm gonna shoot you a follow.
Yeah, thank
Good meeting you
you.
too, Quan.
So sometimes what?
So sorry about your
You're not just meeting me.
circumstances.
Cut that out. But I just followed you as well. I wasn't following you. I've seen you in these TikTok streets. Cut it
Yeah, girl.
out. All right, y'all. Catch y'all later. Thanks, Crystal J.
Bye. Have
Bye.
a beautiful day. Thanks for coming up
All right, you
and
too.
teaching us. I appreciate that. She is so knowledgeable. I love listening to her talk. Actually, one of my favorite things is, how there's a few people out on the TikTok streets that people underestimate, and then you watch them just cook the fuck out of somebody? Quan is one of those. People will just come up and start talking to her, men, men. And you could tell that they underestimate her within just the first few minutes. And I think, oh, you're so cute. She's about to eat you alive.
Gives you time to make your popcorn.
Chef, board agnostic. Board agnostic is a chef too, by the way. But there's something about the way Quan cooks. I just fucking love it. Kwan's the one who told me, like, oh, you should play Divine or Decline with Christians, and then you could show them that they don't have the Holy Spirit. And I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Thinker and I are going to do that one night on her live. So I'll let you guys know when we do that.
Fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I was just going to say, though, like, first of all, it felt like an honor listening to Kwan's list and then breaking that shit down. But also, I really think that guest ran from Kwan, because that guest was like, no, I can't go up against this. And rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because Jamal knows Quan. Like, Jamal knows he cannot be here. I was like, oh, man, Jamal. So what I started doing this past week to get more Christians in here, Mama Bash always does it, so I just took her lead. I started following Christians, and then I could send out the link to them and stuff. So I followed Jamal this week. I had followed, like, J-Rob this week and stuff, because I used to, like, just couldn't stand them, so I would like block them and stuff. But I was like, no, let's bring them in. So Jamal fell for the bait.
I wish there was like
really
a friends
smart.
list and then like a side list.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, you go first.
I was gonna say, I wish there was like a different category. Like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm following you. And then it's like, oh, I'm following you, but not because I like you. Like, I'm just following you.
Yeah.
But like, don't get in my algorithm.
Right.
I was going to say that's actually a really smart tactic because, well, I've heard in atheist like groups, people were like, I think it's really weird that this person's following a bunch of Christians. Now I'm seeing why you might do that. You can actually send out your live streams to the Christians and hopefully get engagement. That's really smart.
Yeah.
I was going to say earlier
Mama
too.
Bash is really smart.
I was going to say earlier that the conversation kind of shifted about Eusebius. He is a liar, and he's been caught in a lot of lies, and a lot of historians call him out on his lies. So whatever you're reading from him, it's interesting. You have to take whatever he says with a grain of salt. And actually, how much I learned about Eusebius lying comes from Thinker and Quan. Both of them have given me, like, I've heard them talk about the many different examples where Eusebius has just been dead ass caught in a lie.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Jared said, Eusebius, UCBS. That's perfect. I love that. Yeah, so I just started in the introduction, and, you know, I'm highlighting a little bit as I go through. And it says, within this work, what should we know of the progress of the early church, its rapid extension, its glorious enthusiasm, energy, and vitality, its tribulations, persecutions, and martyrdoms? Everything in that sentence is just wrong. First of all, its rapid extension, it wasn't that rapid. And when it did rapidly, it was because of the sword. Its persecutions and martyrdoms, we have absolutely zero evidence that any of that fucking happened. Shut up. For nearly 40 years, he poured out a constant stream of historical and other works, of which the most valuable is the history of the church. That's about him. Please stop spamming and using caps in my chat. If you've got something that is so important to say, Tutu, you should come up and vocalize it with the big boy voice that you have, okay? Come on up. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation like adults. And that way, not just the chat will see it, but people will hear it here on TikTok and on YouTube, okay? Because you seem to have something very, very important that you want people to hear, and yet you're scared to come up and talk. That's so weird. I thought that you had the God of the universe on your side. Is he really that weak? He's so weak that you're scared to come up here and have a conversation? That's weird. I don't know. When I was a Christian, I wasn't afraid of anything. I literally thought, you guys, I literally thought forgot that I had the armor of God on. I was not scared of very much. I will tell you that I was stupid, but not scared.
Or
Yeah,
in earnest, you were not deceiving.
shit's dangerous.
I would have come up here in a heartbeat. I would have left crying later because after talking to all of you, I would have been like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I would have come up because I wasn't scared. I really believed I had a powerful God. I don't think you do.
I never heard anything about the armor of God stuff until I got to the decon community because my church didn't work like that. My church wanted us to be afraid all the time, afraid of the devil and afraid of God and whatever demonic, whatever else was out there. We were supposed to be afraid all the time because you never knew when even God was going to cut you down.
Oh, I had the fear of the Lord, but that is a righteous fear. And a righteous fear means that you don't sin. But you're not afraid of other things because, you've got God, right? And you've got the armor of God. You're only afraid of God and Satan. You're not afraid of humans. They can't do a fuck thing to you because you've got the armor of God.
You've got the armor of God. You pay no mind to getting embarrassed and making a fool out of yourself because God's got you.
Yeah.
See,
I used to
that's
pray
so
to put it on.
Because, like, whenever I was in the church, they used Job as the example for that, saying, hey, you can literally you could be blameless, you could be upright, you could be the pinnacle for as moral of a person that you could possibly be. And guess what? Sometimes God's just going to test you and rip everything out from underneath you just because he can, just because he wants to see what you're going to do. And that made us all terrified. Terrified.
Oh, see, we weren't taught it like that. We were taught that, okay, it wasn't like you should be afraid because God could do this to you at time. It was more like just because life hands you shitty things, you have to be like Job and still be faithful to God. And in the end, he will reward you. So it wasn't to be afraid that he would do what he did to Job. It was remember that when you go through hard times, to be faithful like Job so you can be rewarded in the end. So obviously, I didn't like the story of Job. I think I've shared this many times. I hated it. I was like, I don't understand why people think that getting a new family is a fix-all because I got a new family and I wanted my family. I didn't want a new family. I never fucking asked for a new family. Now that I'm older, I don't want any of those families. I don't need any of those.
Yeah, but it's it's also one of those things that, like, I think it's easier in a lot of ways for, like, it's about a man written by men written to men, right? And so you hardly ever hear a man just all of a sudden go, oh, what about those kids? Like, I'm not saying, like, nothing against, like, that whole gender, but it just doesn't, like, that's not what sticks out as much. They're going, oh, he got all this stuff and it was twice as over, and we're going, what about those children? Like, even if they were adult children, I don't care.
I don't care either. I was 3, but my oldest brother was like 16 or something, and they just took him away from me. And then gave me a new brother who was a fucking asshole. I didn't want that new brother. I wanted my brother, who was probably also a fucking asshole, but I didn't know that yet, okay?
Anyway, it's the principle.
It's the principle. It was my brother, my asshole to decide whether he was an asshole or not. You don't get to decide for me.
Yeah, give me my free will, God.
Yeah, where's that? Okay. Anyway, if you are a believer of the God of the Bible and you want to come up and tell me how your God is not evil, the guest box is open. If we don't get somebody in the next 10 minutes, I'll change topics. We'll see if we can get somebody up with it. Yeah, you can. You sure can. Hey, Neil, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Hello, I'm 18 and I'm turning 19 soon.
Oh, okay. And are you a believer in the God of the Bible?
Yeah, but I don't really like religion, so yeah.
That's okay. Do you believe in the Bible?
Not really.
So then why do you believe in the God of the Bible if you don't really believe the Bible?
Because he protected me a couple of times.
How do you know it was that God and not, well, frankly, Satan telling you he was that God?
Because I called out for him, and then he saved me from...
Why did you call out for that God and not a different God?
Because that's all I knew. Also, like, there was a demon in my room. It was really scary.
How do you know there was a demon in your room?
It was like something that I don't even know how to put it into words. This dark shadow figure started crawling on top of me, and then I know it wasn't a person because like it didn't have a face, it didn't have anything. It was just like a shadow, but it was also physical. And then I called out Jesus, but I couldn't speak, but I still was able to say it like in my mind, and then it disappeared, and then I was able to sleep and I felt peace. But
I have a
that's a
question.
personal anecdotal
What?
experience. A lot of people say they don't want to be Christian anymore because Jesus has never been there for them. So I can understand that.
Okay, one at a time. We're going to start with Robin. You have a question, and then Tahir, you can ask your question, okay? And then I think Shadow has a question. Go ahead, Robin.
Hi, Neo. So I was listening to your account of what I genuinely believe that you believe is a supernatural experience. I actually have this exact same thing happen to me. For years, I believed that there was a spirit that had tried to inappropriately touch me in my sleep. And I like did a deep dive into it. I thought, well, this must have been like an incubus or a succubus spirit or something like that. As it would turn out, this was the older I would get, and the more I would look into this experience, I would learn about something called sleep paralysis. And if you study what sleep paralysis is, what you're talking about happens to millions of people all over the world all the time. It can be explained by natural phenomena, it can be explained scientifically. It's not something that's magical, mystical, or supernatural by any means.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if if guests knew what sleep paralysis was.
I know what it is. It just, I don't know, it's very real. I've never experienced anything like that. But I don't really like religion and stuff like that. And people, what I wanted to say was people who are saying God is evil and stuff will then be like, but witchcraft is good. But I think all of it is bad. Like everything, religion, witchcraft, spirituality. I think people should just be focused on science. Like I like science. That's what I
Well,
like.
that's then can we go back to the sleep paralysis conversation because we have explanations for that. Like I too have had sleep paralysis issues and saw demons in the corner of my room. Like nothing about what you explained is very different than what anybody who experiences sleep paralysis has experienced. So if you think that witchcraft and all of that stuff is evil, and you said, you know, we should lean into science, then shouldn't you take your own advice?
Yeah, I guess I just don't really think about it much, but it comes into my head every now and then. But I was very unhealthy back then, and I have a lot of better habits now. I don't think I'll experience sleep paralysis ever again. Hopefully not. It was quite scary. So, yeah, also like it's really fascinating that your mind can like make up some demon thing.
Yeah, it is. Uh, actually what we know about hallucinations is that we cannot decipher the difference between a hallucination and reality. And so it's very hard for somebody to say that they didn't hallucinate. You literally could not prove to us you didn't hallucinate. And this comes from firsthand knowledge. Not, I have literally watched a very healthy young woman slip into psychosis right in front of my eyes. And literally, she could not tell the difference. So for somebody to later say, I did not hallucinate, you could not prove that actually. Shadow, did you have a question?
Yeah, let me just step out real quick.
Indian, please don't ever spam my comments. Okay, I'm going to bring you up in a minute. I see you in the guest box and you'll get to come up in a minute, but we're talking to Neo right now. Don't spam the comments though, okay? You can prove that you've hallucinated because, for instance, a person I know who hallucinated, but that they saw Pinocchio. And well, since we all know that Pinocchio is not real, we can prove that was a hallucination. It's pretty simple on some levels, okay? Now, Neo can't do that either way because we can't prove to Neo 100% that demons don't exist, right? And Neo can't prove to us that Neo didn't hallucinate. But I certainly can prove that sometimes people hallucinate because literally they'll say things like, there is water right there. And when you look, there isn't any. That's how we can prove things like that, okay? So think before you ask and spam questions in the comments. Think for a minute about what you're saying. Let me let my dog in and then Shadow, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, is it just like Jesus? Like that's kind of what you're holding on to? Like the love thy
Yeah,
neighbor?
yeah, that's what I'm holding on to.
Okay. So, love thy neighbor, that teaching was plagiarized by Jesus. He stole that from Leviticus when the Pharisees are saying, which two commandments are the greatest? He's saying, first, actually, is to love thy God with all thy heart. And then secondarily to that is to love his people or love thy neighbor, right? So if you're going by Jesus, it's you need to follow God. And the way you follow God is his commandments, which are the Mosaic laws. And so I don't agree with that. And like that's why I can't follow Jesus because I don't align with his morality. If you want to actually dive into what Jesus said, like, yes, I understand that he says, love thy neighbor, right? So, let me put it this way. He also says to drink poison. He says he puts bad spirits into pigs who go off a cliff, that pigs didn't do anything. The pigs are having their legs broken and drowning, and they didn't even do anything. That's animal cruelty. A
I
woman
mean,
is
he
begging
saved the
him for
human.
help. A woman is begging him for help, and he says, "Get away from me, you dog." To the woman just asking for help. I mean, Jesus is not this like benevolent teacher that people make him out to be, and then it's kind of like, okay, but he said one nice thing one time. It's kind of like you're picking out one little kernel of corn in this big pile of not goodness, and I'm just wondering, like, is there some underlying like fear or reward that you're thinking of when you think of Jesus and love thy neighbor?
I don't, I don't know. I stick by him because of the time. No, I don't know really. I think it's because of how I was raised, and my mother is a Messianic Jew as well, and was like, Jesus saved us all the time. And I was like, yeah, because that's just how I grew up. But yeah, it's how I grew up, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe question it. Maybe look into it for yourself. You're saying you like science and that you like to learn, so follow through with that. As my kind of 2 cents is like, I would encourage that if you're really wanting to do that. Question where you learned it from. What was the source? Were they correct? Are you correct? I would just encourage that. Thank you.
Thanks.
And there are other things that Jesus did that I actually find atrocious. And there's one that people just don't talk about enough. And when I look at that one thing, I say, I don't really care about all the other things. With this one thing he did, it makes me not want to worship him, especially when I know people who are starving right now. I know people can't pay their bills right now. I know that there are people who are hungry, and I'm judging billionaires right now. I'm sitting here saying, why are there billionaires right now? And every time I see somebody rich say, hey, we're doing a GoFundMe, and I'm thinking, what, Oprah, why don't you just pay the bill? Why are you doing a GoFundMe? You fucking are a billionaire. Pay the fucking bill. Don't start a GoFundMe. And I want a God who says, feed the hungry, feed them. But then he does it. And feeding 5,000 people who are following you around because you're creating a commotion isn't feeding the hungry, okay? And it's not feeding the hungry when you have a bottle of perfume that can sell for a lot of money and could feed the hungry, and one of your followers tells you that and says, hey, shouldn't we sell that bottle of perfume and go feed the hungry? And you say to them, nah, because you're always going to have hungry people, because I'm never going to do a goddamn thing about the hungry people, but you won't have me forever. So pour that bottle of perfume all over me. It was narcissistic. It caused starvation. And he told you right then, I'm never going to fix the hunger problem. You're always going to have hungry people. That's always going to exist. That tells me he wasn't a good God. He did not deserve my worship. I'm sorry, Robin. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I was just patiently waiting for my turn.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a couple things I want to say. So, firstly, I think that even after all these years, when I've been away from Christianity, the thing that I took with me was the golden rule thing to love your neighbor. But truthfully, even that isn't that great because when you say love your neighbor as you love yourself, how I want to be treated is not how my friends want to be treated, how my family members want to be treated. We're all individual people and we want to be treated
Exactly.
differently. So it's better to treat people how they want to be treated. But that the message of that sounds nice, but when you actually look at the text, you realize that Jesus was actually an Israelite supremacist. When he was talking about these people, he was saying, "Love your fellow Israelites." He wasn't talking about your fellow man. He wasn't talking about just any old person, any old Gentile. He had this idea that the people that he was looking for, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the Judites and the Israelites, were these superior people that were meant to inherit the earth and enslave the rest of humanity. That's what Jesus' true mindset and end goal was. Um,
Yeah,
Additionally,
he literally said, do not go out to the Gentiles. He said, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. It wouldn't be until Paul comes along in 144 BC. He comes afterwards through Marcion that we actually start getting some letters that tell us, oh, no, he meant you too. No, that's not what Jesus said. That's not what he said. He didn't come for everybody.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. Like, I I read the Bible back to front since I
Oh,
started,
that's
like,
good.
um since I was about 11, so it's been a really long time. And for a really long time I was just finding all of these awful things in it, and I didn't really know what to do because, like, my parents and stuff. But I've just come to the conclusion that religion is bad. About Jesus, I don't know. But there's also, like, when I'm talking to people who are like atheists and stuff, and I'm hanging out with them, they're really cool people, but they believe religion is bad like I do, but then they think witchcraft is okay. And I'm half South African, and it's
Yes.
just in South Africa we don't really like witchcraft because like witches have a bad reputation, and there's like in the West witchcraft is seen as good, I guess, like of the
Let me explain to you. I'm only one atheist, and every atheist is different. We're all going to think different things, okay? I don't believe in witchcraft, okay? I don't believe in anything supernatural. I believe everything has a scientific reason for it, okay? I think that our natural reason, a natural explanation for it, okay? And I think we can find out through science. What I will tell you, though, is that if a person practices witchcraft, I'm okay with that. Why do I care if they practice witchcraft? They don't do anything to me. I don't see why I should care that they are closer to science than anybody, because they at least use natural things to try to come up with whatever they're doing, their spells, their teas, and things like that. But usually they just want good for people. Almost every witch I've ever met, they just want to relate to earth, relate to nature, relate to the very ancestors that flow through their DNA. And to me, that's more holy than believing in a god that was created by a patriarchy to oppress people. It's more holy to do that.
Yeah, I've bumped into the really nice witches. They're pretty nice. However, I've also bumped into the bad ones, the ones that put hexes on people and get paid to cast spells on people to unalive them. And they are really scary people.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh. Oh gosh, sorry,
There's bad people in every group. And if there's a bad person, there's a bad person. You know, there's nothing you could do. But there's horrible atheists. There's horrible atheists. Okay. But those are individual people. They don't represent a whole group or a whole anything, right? Christianity, though, as a whole, hates people. They hate marginalized people, and they are taught supremacy in the very beginning of the book when they say women will be submissive to their men. That's supremacy culture. It begins with patriarchy. It begins with misogyny, and then eventually it begins to be separation of these are not your people, these are your people. And it continues throughout the entire book. It is a book on supremacy culture.
And oh, sorry, I had to change the topic.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, would you mind inviting up Servant Nick? I think he threatened me in chat, and I just want to ask him if that's what he meant.
I'm not bringing him up. I want to know, Nick, are you threatening somebody? Where's the comment? What did he say?
I said, I said he dodged something, and then he said, let me find it. Dodge. And he said you'd be dodging me in person.
Okay, you can go ahead and block him right here, if you don't mind. No, I'm not going to bring him up. We just do one guest at a time, and we don't do confrontations on the panel. We just block and move on.
Gotcha.
Then we can have a nice conversation without dealing with them. Hey, Robin. What you have?
Hi. I just wanted to say something to Neil. It seems to me like in your South African cultural upbringing that there's a lot of emphasis on witchcraft being this scary, spooky thing. But I'd actually like to point out that that actually happens a lot in Christianity, but they just don't call it witchcraft. When you talk about consuming the flesh and blood of Jesus, that is blood magic. If we look to the Old Testament, there's a recipe for a potion called bitter water, and it was used to, if a woman was thought to be not faithful to her husband, it would induce miscarriage, or at least that's what they believed. There's all kinds of
I want
spells
to
and
I want to
potions
make
and
one
weird
little
rituals.
clarification on that, Robin, because it's such an important thing to me, okay? It's not even if they think she's pregnant, it's just if the husband is jealous. If a husband is jealous, that's all it takes is jealousy. He can make her drink this potion that will cause her uterus to fall out. So she will be not only miscarry the baby, she will also, and there might not even be a baby. Remember, he's just jealous, okay? Which, how many people haven't met a man who is irrationally jealous? And it will cause her to be barren. That's what the potion does, and that's in the Bible.
Yeah, all
Robin, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. I just wanted to point out that he just has to be jealous.
Yeah, so there's recipes for potions, there's recipes for um there's different blood magic practices. I mean, like sacrificing an animal on an altar and how you're supposed to do it. There's divination practices. One of them is that sages would fast for several days at a time, sit by a body of water, and as they are basically losing their minds from malnutrition and they're hearing the water talk, eventually those receive some sort of revelation listening to the rippling noises of the water from the Holy Spirit. Like there's all kinds of really strange rituals and magic and potions and spells. It all exists in the Bible. The difference is when Christians do it, they just choose not to call it that because they realize that a lot of these ideas were appropriated from their pagan and polytheistic neighbors from the Levant area. It was implemented from Egypt. It was implemented from Turkey. It was implemented from the Greeks. They borrowed all these different ideas and they implemented them in their own practices. They just choose not to call it that because, well, it kind of destroys the illusion that it's magical, mystical, and that they have the monopoly on holiness.
yeah, any form of witchcraft, I'm just raising an eyebrow. Like, people who are praying to like deities and stuff. It's just like, why are you wasting your time doing that? And there are
Yeah.
some witches, a man and a woman actually, who live in my neighborhood, who they're like sprinkling salt around the church, and it appears that they're like cursing it, I think. And it's just like, why are you trying to hurt this church? The church is also of like a minority, so it's like, witches doing bad things again. I know there's like good witches, like you said, but it's just the whole thing
And
is
you know
bad.
what? Anybody who's doing something bad, like I'm not going to like them. And as I've told you, I don't believe in supernatural anyway. So I would probably, if they came up on my live today, I would be giving them shit, Neil. I would be like, you're out here trying to harm people in this world. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like I would not let them slide on that. Like for sure. I think that if any ritual that you're doing is doing to harm people instead of better people, then fuck you. Because let me tell you something. If I'm a witch, right? Let's say I'm a witch and I can fucking do spells and it could somehow make people do shit, right? And I got this guy and he's an asshole and he's always like blocking my driveway or something. I can go do a spell to make it so that he fucking stubs his toe 27 times today or whatever. Or why don't I make a spell if I'm so fucking powerful that makes him just be a nicer person? I have options, right? And so anybody who's out there trying to do shit to just make people be harmed in any way, they're just shitty people. I don't care if they're a witch. I don't care if they're a Christian.
Okay, maybe you should like, I don't know, put like all religions are bad and witchcraft can be bad too.
Okay, here's why I don't put all religions are bad, which, trust me, I'm pretty close to anti-theist anyway. I talk to Christians because I was a Christian for 40 years. And the harm that Christianity is doing to my country right now, it's almost irreparable, okay? People are losing rights. We're losing our humanity. People are dying in my streets. People are being shot by my government. I cannot allow Christianity to continue without telling people why it is bad. It is very fucking harmful. It is so harmful. And that's what I know, because for 40 years, 40 plus, I was a Christian who preached it. I was a Christian who devoured it. It was my whole personality. And for people to now then tell me, turn that all off if you don't believe anymore, it's actually just ludicrous to think that that would happen. How could it be ingrained so much in me that you want me to just turn it off now? You didn't want me to shut up about it before, but now when I'm telling the truth about it, you want me to shut up? I don't think so. That's not how it works. You indoctrinated me into this religion. You forced me into it from the time I was 3 years old on. And now you want me to just shut up because I'm telling people the truth, because I'm showing people how harmful it is, because I'm teaching women that this was written about men, to men, for men. I'm not going to. I'm not going to shut up about it. People need to know.
Okay, well, I like what you're doing. It seems like it's with really good intent. So.
Thank you. And I really like talking to you. I hope you'll come back and talk again. We're going to bring up an angry Christian man now. If you want, you can sit in the chat and listen to us get yelled at. It's about what's about ready to happen. But thanks so much for being here, Neil. You guys, big W in the chat for Neil. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Oh, let's bring up I Am. They were here first. If they're still here. If not, we'll bring Love up. I think I Am left. So we'll bring up Love. Hi, Love. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Hi, I'm 24.
Okay, and are you a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible?
No, I'm not. Sorry, are you just looking for opposition?
Yeah, well, we can talk for a minute. What'd you come up with today?
I just wanted to contribute a verse because someone pointed this out to me yesterday, and I have never seen this verse brought up on anyone's live ever. And it's it's pretty bad, and it's actually probably the worst thing that I've ever read. And it's from,
all right, let's see if I have it highlighted. Okay. All right.
Okay.
What verse is it?
I think it's Deuteronomy 29, but let me check just to make sure that I have the right one.
Deuteronomy is a banger.
No, sorry, it's Deuteronomy 28. Sorry. Hi, Lane.
28 what?
28, and then it goes from 1 second. Oh, it goes from 15 all the way until about 30. No, not 30.
Okay.
About through the rest of the passage, and it's pretty long. But you can just read it, just skim through it. Basically, the overview is that this chapter is about blessings for obeying God versus what will happen to you if you disobey God, right? And so it starts out with, if you obey God, you'll have all of these great things happen to you. And then it starts off at the rest of the passage is about what will happen to you if you disobey God. And the descriptions are so evil. They're like E-Files level evil.
I do have some of them highlighted. Do you want me to read you the ones I have highlighted in that chapter?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we're going to, this is Deuteronomy, y'all, 28. We're going to go down to verse 53. I have it highlighted. I have a tab there and everything. It says, in the desperate straits to which the enemy siege reduces you, you will eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your own sons and daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you. And I think Minnie Kwan was just up here a little while ago. You must have missed her, but she was talking about that. Nobody had said that before, Yahweh.
Yeah, I was like, bro, what? Am I even reading this correctly?
It's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? And then I have another one highlighted as well, and it's 63. And I don't know what this one is. But it's harm makes God happy is what my tab says. And
Bruh.
just as the Lord took delight in making you prosper and numerous, so the Lord will take delight in bringing you to ruin and destruction. You shall be plucked off the land that you are entering to possess. He is just as happy when you get that parking space that you wanted and you prayed for. He's just as happy when you fall down and cut your knee open. Both of those things make him happy.
Do you have 30 in your annotations?
I don't have that.
Oh,
No,
you're
what do
going
you
to
have
want
on
to
that
write
one?
down 30. 30 is bad. Just read it out.
Okay.
30 is the worst
All
one.
right, let me go to. All right. 28, 30. Where is it? Oh, you shall become engaged to a woman, but another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, but not live in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but not enjoy its fruit.
So in
Oh,
my
bye,
translation,
Tahir. Bye, Lath. Why are you all leaving me?
so in the translation that I have, it says like someone's going to like forcibly sleep with her, which is
Oh, yeah.
very bad, disgusting.
I'm going to make a note of that. Let's look that up in the Hebrew real quick. All right, let's use my biased chat GPT for this really quick. Hey, can you please let me know in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30, when it says that another man shall lie with your wife, is that is it like defining rape there? What is the Hebrew there? Yes, thank you for the 53,000 likes. If you guys can keep tapping that screen. I'm going to be live for just about 40 more minutes unless we reach the gift goal. If we reach the gift goal, I'll stay an extra hour. And thank you so much for all the gifts. My gift goal is the little, the little octopus right now. And I can't pin it, but I'll pin it in a little bit for you guys. Okay, it says... You shall become against your own. The key phrase is yishkavena. I don't know how to say it. It comes from the root to lie down, often used as a euphemism. So literally it reads, no. Here's the important part. The verb by itself does not inherently mean rape. It simply means to lie down. It's commonly used. 28 Deuteronomy 28 is a curse chapter. It's listing covenant curses of Israel disobeys. The structure of 28:30 mirrors a common ancient Near Eastern curse formula. Betrothed wife, build house, plant vineyard. Betrothed wife, another man lies with her. Build house, don't live in it. Plant vineyard, don't eat from it. It's about losses of what should be yours. Yes, it strongly implies sexual violation, according to
That is really sad.
the context. So yeah. Hey Pips, how are you?
So like if I had
you
to
are
like
a
give
believer
my
of the
most like, oh sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks for being up here. I don't know why you all ran away from me while I was reading the Bible. You guys hate the Bible or something. Anyway, that's okay. If you are a believer of the God of the Bible, the guest box is open. My claim today is God is evil. Come up and let's talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead, love. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying like if I had to give my most like for I guess forgiving interpretation, it would be basically, God is saying, yes, this is going to happen and these are bad things, but he's at the very least letting these things happen, right? He's telling you these things are going to happen, even if I'm not the cause of it, and you're going to deserve it because you're disobeying me, right? Because like when I talk about these topics, when I talk about like the grape of David's wives, and like grape in other passages, the common apologetic that I hear is God did not command those things, even though he clearly did, but he just let them happen. And I'm like, why would he let them happen in the first place? Like, would
You know what,
still,
love? I
yeah?
like to tell them a little story when they say that to me. Okay, here's the little story I like to tell them. I have 3 children. I love my children very much. They're really good people. I think I'm a good mom. I have really good morals. And for instance, like, I do not condone stealing. I don't think that's right. You shouldn't steal. You should earn the things you have, okay? And if you can't earn them for some reason, then you know your family should help you. You should support each other, but you shouldn't steal. But it's 2026. People steal. It's going to happen, right? So I just like to make sure that they have some rules since it's going to happen anyway. So I teach them where to steal, when to steal, where the camera's on, who not to steal from, because we don't steal from small businesses in my family because, we steal from the rich. It's like, a give me on that one, right? I don't condone stealing. I just give them rules.
Exactly. That's the apologetic that I hear a lot. And it's so
And they
funny
tell me
because
I'm
like
not a good parent.
yeah, exactly. Like there's verses that quite literally say that God is commanding this to happen. So I don't know why,
Yes, it
they
is.
just seem to have this view that, oh, he just let it happen. But even if, right, he is someone who is like literally all powerful, if he can stop this thing from happening with the snap of his fingers and he chooses not to, then he can be held responsible for that,
Right, absolutely. Also, in the Bible, he tells you that he's doing this stuff, so that apologetic is just lame. Also, he's not making them eat their children, not in that verse. He's starving them so that they will be forced to do it. So he is literally doing the things that are causing them to do the things that they're doing. It's just a ridiculous apologetic, and the apologetics are weak. I used to believe all the apologetics. I thought apologists were Bible scholars. I didn't understand that they actually had a goal, and that was to fix all the problems within the scripture and smooth them over. I thought they were somehow scholars. Once I started learning
Yeah.
the difference between an actual Bible scholar and an apologist, like that really changed a lot for me, Thank you, Gladys. I hope you're having a great day.
Yeah, I've been reading this book called Misquoting Jesus by Bart Ehrman. I'm about like a quarter of the way
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Um and like I didn't know much about like the formation of the New Testament or the history of like early Christianity and things like that. So it's really been opening my mind up a lot of things, and it's really good for people. Like if you're someone who's really struggling to deconstruct, I really recommend you reading that book because it really goes
Yeah.
into how the Bible is a work of human beings and not a work of God, like leaving
Yeah.
aside all of the morality, like that, it's a great book. I really recommend it. And about the moral thing, right? One thing I'll tell you is that whenever someone would give me a verse from like Deuteronomy or Leviticus or Numbers, I would run to like either answers in Genesis or God
Yeah.
questions. And I would be like, please give me an answer on how to explain this. And the answers would make me feel worse. Like it was like, when I did,
I was such a
yeah,
Ken
sorry.
Ham fan when I was okay, so Ken Ham is the one who started Answers in Genesis, and I was such a big fan of his when I was a Christian, and I fell for all of his bullshit. Like I fell for all of it. Like he had this explanation for why evolution can't be real.
Oh my
Because
days.
oh my God, you guys, are you guys ready to hear some cringe shit that I believed? Like, Robin, don't laugh too hard, okay? Listen, he had this explanation, and you can go look it up somewhere because I'm sure you can find a video on it, of how woodpeckers couldn't have evolved to be woodpeckers because of the way their beaks are and their tongue goes all the way down and then it comes out and blah, blah, blah. Okay. He tells you that the first bird, when they hit their beak into the tree, would have died. So there would never have been another bird to do that or whatever. And so it makes you think, oh, like, of course birds could not have evolved to have, a woodpecker beak or whatever. And I just fell for that bullshit. Okay, we're bringing up a Christian, you guys, so here we go.
Yeah, I'll drop down so that I can give you the space, Crystal.
Okay,
But
love.
could I say one last thing before I go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't feel embarrassed. It takes a lot of people like so many years to deconstruct. Like some people even like take decades to deconstruct fully. So like it's a long, difficult process. I'm still in the process myself. There's things that I need to remind myself of every day, and work out my own emotions and things like that. So it's definitely like a very long, difficult process. And it's quite painful, because when you were raised to love God and have a connection with God, and then you read this stuff because they don't read you like Numbers 31 when you go to church. They don't. There's stuff that I'm still learning about the Bible even till today. So
Right, me too.
That's just what I wanted to say. But thank you so much, and
thank you so much. Have a great day.
You
Very
too.
nice
Thank you,
to
love.
meet
I
you.
just wanted to say I love your PFP. I love Hell of a Boss. Love
Me
the
too.
Lucifer character. Love the
Oh, I love
Lucifer
it.
character from Hell of a Boss. Thank you for bearing light
It
to the
has been,
scripture
yeah.
that we share today. And you are our morning star.
Oh, thank
Aww. It was really sweet. I love you, Robin. All right, Indian, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Hearsay.
Yes.
It's hearsay. So we can't convict on hearsay. We need something.
I'm gonna need you to turn off whatever you got going on in the background. I can't hear you. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah,
Halfway
I
down
can't
the
hear.
Yeah, I saw that. So you think her
Somebody's
not looking at the
talking in
victims is retarded?
Not the R slur.
I'm gonna drop you down, and then if you want to come back up, you can. It's in your background, sir. It's not in our background. That's something going on in your background. So it might be another live coming through. Because sometimes TikTok sounds like Ashra said. Sometimes they mess up. Have you ever had that happen, Robin? I'll be watching like, I don't know, Justin or Joel or somebody, and all of a sudden I'll start hearing like Mini Quan and Board Talk and stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? Are they on the show? And I get confused for a second, and then I realize like the sound from another show is coming through to the show I'm watching.
I've experienced that myself. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him. He goes by Me on here. He does Decon lives. There
Yeah.
was one time where I was watching Thinker and Me, but I was able to hear Me at the same time, like his panel of everything.
Oh,
It was
that's
utter
weird.
chaos. I had to leave the app and come back. But yeah, that has happened. TikTok has some crazy glitches. The scariest one for me personally, and this has happened a couple times where I have not requested up, and then I've been thrown up onto a TikTok panel where there's like 700 people, and then people are like, "Why the fuck are you here? What's with your background noise?" And I'm like, "What? I didn't know I was here. I didn't request up."
Oh my God, that's horrible. I have not been, to my knowledge, I don't know that TikTok has done it. I have accidentally joined lives. I've done that more than once, and that sucks. Because the worst part for me is, and not worse, like, I mean, I actually really like it. Most people will accept my request up on their panel. Like, I'm not, because usually if I request up, I have something pertinent to say or I have an announcement, and they also know I won't overstay my welcome if they're like, one-on-one debaters or whatever. I'm not going to try to sit there and hang out and stuff. So they'll usually go, oh, Crystal's requesting, she must have something to say. I'll invite her up, which is very detrimental in another way, because I've been pulled up on lives where I am like, what the fuck? I didn't know stuff. What the hell? And I'm like really noisy background, or I don't know, the grandkids playing or something. I'm like, oops, I'm sorry. Oops, didn't mean to. But thanks for bringing me up. I tried to invite Indian back up again because I thought he had a lot to say in the comments earlier. He was yelling at me saying that I wasn't bringing up ops while we were talking to Neo. And I'm like, you idiot. Like she came up as, a believer. So why are you saying, just because she's not mean and yelling at us doesn't mean that she's not a believer, you idiot. And he was just like, he kept getting muted because he was spamming and using all caps. And he was like, you mute all the people who don't agree with you. No, we mute the same people every other chat mutes. People who spam and use caps over and over again. He was quite impatient.
He said you were spreading misinformation, but he didn't cite any specific thing. Yeah, like in the comments, he very easily could have cited a scripture, but he didn't. He just kept. See, that I know that the Christians are being dishonest when they do that, because they'll just say that's not true. No, you got the wrong interpretation. You're taking out of context. What is the context? If you can't provide it, if you have no refutation, where are we supposed to go from here?
Exactly. Show me where I'm wrong on anything I said. I love it because you're not going to be able to, first of all. If I tell you, if I say the Bible says this, I promise you I know the Bible says that. If I don't know it says it, but I think it, I will say, I think there's a verse that says this, because I will only speak in absolutes if I am sure. You know what I mean? And that's why I very rarely will say what book, chapter, and verse, because I can never remember those. So I'm not even going to pretend to remember where in the Bible something is.
I jokingly will sometimes talk about the Build-A-God like a Build-A-Bear. Well, something I have found recently is that a lot of Christians have a Build-A-Bible. And what I mean by that is, well, they like this particular scripture from this Bible, but then they don't like this one. So they cherry pick which Bibles that they want so that it favors whatever agenda that they're trying to come up with.
Yep. Hey, Nicholas, how are you today?
Good afternoon, gorgeous. How's it going?
Going well. What's new with you?
I think my biggest pet peeve when they scream context at me, it's usually someone who's never actually read it before, and they're trying to do some mental gymnastics to quickly excuse what's going on. It's like, I've called out so many Christians for that. Like, dude, you didn't even know that verse existed. How do you all of a sudden have an answer? Like, no, you're being disingenuous.
Exactly.
I agree 100%.
Hey, Meeks. Hey, Tris. Hey, Sunny.
And to add to that,
no, they do that.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
going to
say to add to that.
Talk too much.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say to add to that, Nick, they will cry about context, even when you read it directly to them, and they'll say, well, that's your interpretation. No, that's what the fuck it says. There's no interpreting. What your interpretation doesn't agree with the text, so you're doing the mental gymnastics. We have the context. We just read the scripture.
No, by now, words don't mean words.
Exactly. Words don't mean words with them.
I've also heard numbers don't mean numbers, and more recently, I think it was a couple of months ago, colors don't mean colors. That one was wild.
That's different. That's definitely different. I haven't heard colors don't mean colors either.
Yes, something about what was it? It had to do with Genesis. Something about the water.
Was Esau not really red? Was Esau not really red? Was he another?
I literally can't remember. It was just a wild moment for me. I'm like, wow, so words don't mean words, numbers don't mean numbers, and colors don't mean colors. Okay.
Well, I find a lot of the time, whenever they're trying to quote Jesus, they really quote Paul. And that's who I really think a lot of these people are worshiping. Because
Oh,
a
they
lot of the
are.
things that they attribute to Jesus was never said by Jesus, it was said by Paul. And Paul and Jesus disagree on a lot of shit.
Oh, but Jesus speaks through Paul, Robin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the same way that Moses was the living embodiment, talking mouth of God. Yeah, right.
Oh, Nicholas, you missed it. You know, I had up first thing this morning, but I got him to run from Mini Quan. Do you know who it was? Just guess.
Oh. No brain cells required.
It's somebody from African Atheist days, okay?
Oh.
Back when I was always on African Atheist Live, I had Jamal for Jesus up.
No way.
Yeah. And J-Rob came in chat too.
Jamal usually runs pretty fast when he's in live when I'm around, because right off the bat I'm like, hey Jamal, how old was your girlfriend when you met her? And he's usually gone faster than he can like argue anything. I'm curled one.
I brought him up, and Minnie Kwan was here, and when she started schooling him on the 7 abominations of God, he was doing something, and he started to insult her first, like kind of like, you know, say, well, you're taking this out of context and I don't know what he was saying. I go, stop insulting her and just either prove your point, like show us in scripture where she's wrong or something. He goes, I'm trying to. And then he goes, wait, why are you bullying me? And he started doing that over and over again. I go, Jamal, I know what you're doing. You know I have to drop you now. And he goes, oh yeah, drop me because because he wanted to run. He wanted to run so fast because Minnie Kwan was cooking the shit out of him. He is such a little baby, huh?
Well, you know, I'm not
Evil mama.
I'm not gonna deep dive the lore, Ashra, but I'll say this. Usually when he comes in, and you'll grasp the concept of what I'm saying here. When he comes in, I ask how old his girlfriend was when he met her. And then I'll follow up with how old was his girlfriend when he started dating her. And then I'll follow up with how old is this grown-ass man? And then I think you can connect the dots that it was a very grotesque situation. So yeah, whenever I see Jamal for Jesus, I say those things, and he runs like faster than he even came into the room. Yeah. By the way, if anyone has that really heinous recording of what J-Rob said about child marriage, I'd appreciate if you could send it to me, because he's another one
in the Discord.
Okay, because yeah,
he's Discord, and if it's in there, I'll download it and send it to you.
Because every time I threaten him with the recording, he somehow also magically disappears from chats. It's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, they are.
I know the
pair.
Oh, what's his dumb face? I know the recording of him defending child marriages in the Discord.
Q-Top?
No,
I know his is.
The other one, Mr. Anti-Semitic Racist.
That's all of them. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's all of them, right? That narrows it down. Shit. I'll have to remember his name, but I know his recordings in there. Hanji posted it. P-Mars, there we go. Yeah, I know that recording's there.
Yep.
But he's said so much wild shit since then that people don't even need that recording anymore. They just know.
You know, bitter truth, I've been listening to him go on lives lately, and I am not a psychiatrist. I am not diagnosing him. I'm just telling you that I've heard the man talk for a very long time now, and it does not sound mentally healthy. Like I'm talking about slipping into psychosis. Like there's something different. There's something different in the rhetoric. There's something. It's much worse than it used to be. Like I can't explain it. It's like gotten worse. It's crazy.
Oh, that's like, what's his name? Jared. Jared's been around a long time, never changed his profile picture, and he's another one that slips into psychosis a lot.
Yeah. It's too bad too. Morning or good afternoon, Mezzo. I guess it's afternoon now. I have to quit pretending like it's morning. It's not morning anymore.
I had a real late last night because I was up all night with my mom because she was all worried about my brother because he was in the hospital, and it, like, so we didn't hear from him for a while, so I messaged him and I'm like, update, and he goes, chilling, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. He's fine.
Okay, we have to entertain Mezzo's lunch break. So let's see what I got around here. I've got the Book of Mormon. Should we play Mormon roulette? I find
What is Mormon roulette?
Where I just pull up a page and we read how stupid it is. I don't know. I have it in Dutch, but then I got it this week at the estate sale in English. So now I can actually read this shit. I couldn't read it before. It was in Dutch. I don't speak that. I just got it because it was like, I'm so nerdy because of Nicholas and stuff now. Oh my God, Nicholas, I collect stupid Book of Mormons, okay? And did you see my Marys that I got?
I
Guys,
did.
I gotta show you my Marys. I'm gonna show everybody my Marys.
I'm so excited for the Marys. Also, Nick, really fast, I think it's hilarious and amazing that like thank goodness somebody's able to hold his feet to the fire. Oh,
Yeah.
these are actually pretty.
Okay. Do you see how they're looking at the flowers?
Yeah.
They're going, oh shit, I gotta give this to Yahweh in a minute. Fuck.
Actually, you know what? These aren't that bad. These are kind of relaxing.
I don't know. There's something kind of cool about her. I don't know. And her fingers are broken on the one. I have to fix them because it bugs the shit out of me that they're broken. But they had a Mary, like the one that people put in bathtubs. Oh my God, I wanted that so bad. And it's
What's
a
Mary
light.
doing in
There's
the
like
bathtub?
a light bulb up inside her. Anyway, you've never seen Marys in bathtubs? That's really
No.
it's okay. Now I've got to show you a Mary in a bathtub. I'll get it later, and I'll bring it tomorrow or something. But okay, so people for a lawn decoration. Do you guys not know about this? Is this a California thing? Only because it is for Hispanic cultures. A lot do this. Okay, so they'll take like a Mary. And then they'll take a bathtub, but like they either bury it kind of, they put it standing up instead of laying down. Okay, so standing up. Picture it standing up and empty. And picture it cut off about a third of the way down. And so now it's just an arch, right? It's just an arch. And then they put a statue of Mary in there, and it looks like she's standing in a little archway. I don't know why they do it.
That's
it's
weird.
Something people do.
I've never.
I mean,
I'll
I'm
show
not
it to you
judging. It's
sometime.
just different.
Yeah, I've never
Gotta
had.
find
I
it.
can't say I've ever had a Mary in the bathtub. I have had a Stephanie though, so.
Stop. Okay.
Are the flowers Mary's holding, are they both roses? I can tell that one of them is roses, but is she holding a rose on the one on the left as well?
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
Yeah.
You know,
If you look
interestingly
at
enough,
Mary Bath, okay, look it. All of y'all go Google on your other device right now. Look up Mary Bathtub Shrine. Okay, I'm gonna try to show you. See what I'm talking about?
this is different. Yeah, I can see
See?
it. Huh.
See what I'm
That's
saying?
creative.
Okay, so
That's
they
clever.
have one of those Marys, but without the bathtub, and I wanted that, but it was gone when I got there, or whatever, and I was like, oh, bummer. But then I went inside and I was like, this is so much better. Like, I don't know, she lights up and stuff. And Quan, I'm gonna get an LED color changing light for her, so I can change like her to blue, and I don't know. I just thought
Mary's going
I
to
was
a rave.
imagining they had actual statues of Mary in their bathtubs. Like, that's where my brain was going.
That's what I thought. I was like, who's taking a bath with mother?
I've known a lot of Christians to hang a portrait of Jesus above their toilets, which is just freaking weird. But
that is so weird.
It is.
Like,
it's like
I am a Buddhist, but I'm also an agnostic atheist, and like putting Buddhist images in the bathroom is considered like a huge no-no. We're not supposed to do that. Like, so the Christians doing that, I find that strange, very strange. I was going to say that the images of Mary, you know, if you would have swapped out the roses for like a lotus or something, I could have seen how that it would have had. It was giving Buddhist iconography, funny enough.
Oh, that is so weird. You guys want to know something really creepy? Mary just shut off for no reason.
Mary's mad.
Okay, she's lit up again now, though. I don't think I had to switch all the way to the on position. Our Lady of the Clawfoot Tub, yes. Yes.
I for real thought you people were having statues of Mother Mary in their bathtub with them, and I was like, whoa.
They probably do that too, though. Like, you guys know somebody does that, right? Like, like there is some weirdo out there that does that. Oh my God, do you think that people will have blow-up dolls of Mary? I bet they do.
I wouldn't be the least bit shocked.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be TMI. Hopefully, I know that anal rosary beads are a thing. Oh no.
Oh my God, I am gonna clip this and call it anal rosary beads. That would be a good punk band, right?
I'm gonna get a bunch of Catholic hate mail. That would be a fucking punk band, though. Damn. Anal rosary.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you pray every time? I'm sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna continue down this road.
Do a hell Satan for every bead.
Jesus! Thank you, Lord.
I was gonna say, usually when it involves anything with the back door, somebody's praying. I'm just saying.
Somebody is saying something about God. I know it. I know they are.
I mean, it does go without saying, but I don't know if I'm able to say the DILDO word, but they do have those of crucifixes and other saints too. So you got like the inverted one, like a bunch of stuff.
Daniel, good to see you, friend. Nice to see you. Well, we are going to be closing up shop here in 6 minutes, unless we meet our gift goal. But gifts are never expected, always appreciated. Don't forget, if you enjoy my anti-sermons, if you enjoy the podcast anti-sermons, which not enough have enjoyed, so go out there and stream that everywhere you stream your favorite podcast, except for iTunes, because I haven't done that yet. I need to get it over there. If you enjoy my music, then think of supporting the show today. For one donation of like what coffee you could have, I could have coffee instead. I couldn't think of a way to say it. We are actually, I'm going to try to get rid of this line, because there's actual ways you can now go and crowdfund to help me get my new computer, because it's actually now even more expensive than it was before, because the prices of everything went up. Thank you to Trump's tariffs. So if you want to help me be able to upgrade my equipment, I actually have some really good shows that want me on, but I have to upgrade the equipment first because it's over on the YouTube. So I need a more powerful computer. You can do that. The links are in my bio. So head over to my throne. That link is in my bio and support the show today. I put out 2 anti-sermons a week live, and then there is 1 anti-sermon podcast dropped a week, and I will be dropping bonus episodes, obviously, to catch up eventually. So you'll get some bonus anti-sermons. And don't forget to join my Discord. We're going to have a Twilight sleepover. We're going to play a D&D one-shot. Mech Jack is going to be a dungeon master for me in that. So we got some fun stuff going on over there. So come join my Discord. Did I remember everything? I think I did.
D&D is the devil.
That's what I was taught. I really was. Not by my parents, though. I don't think my parents even knew what the fuck D&D was. I think they just thought it was something my weird neighbor next door played, and they definitely thought he was weird. So,
to be fair, a lot of us who play D&D are really weird. So, I mean, in fairness.
In fairness, I just think he was before his time because he was a grown man who was a LARPer. And back then, people thought that was weird. But nowadays, if you're 30 and you're a LARPer, people go, okay.
Yeah, unless you were LARPing the Civil War, they thought you were weird.
Right?
They're fucking LARPers.
Exactly.
All these Christians are fucking LARPers. They're going to church with the... And you know that they're LARPing because they break out the King James English when nobody fucking talks like that anymore, and they act like it's holy. Like, no, you're just speaking dead English. Nobody... Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that way. You're speaking unalived English. Nobody talks that way anymore.
No, the sleepover is not invite over. It is March 13th, Friday the 13th. It'll be in my Discord. We'll just have a voice channel in there and I'll play the movie. We'll all hang out. I don't know if I can watch all 3 movies in one night or whatever. I don't know if I can personally handle that. So we might have a couple of sleepovers, okay? But we're going to hang out, watch the movie together, chat until we pass out, and then maybe have coffee in the morning together on the channel. So it is not invite only. You just have to be in my Discord to do it.
Crystal,
you guys, I'm going to go ahead and...
Because the guy Brownie might have you knocked out.
I probably will. Oh, that's true. I might have to get like an energy drink or something. I don't drink a lot of energy drinks, but I might need one for that night. Okay, so here's the thing. I just don't really like vampires or romance novels. So when Twilight came out, that was like the antithesis of my favorite genres. Like I was like, no. So I never read them. I never watched them. And Bree and Tahir and stuff are like, you have to. So we're doing a sleepover. And I'm going to hate watch them. The rest of you can watch them if you want. It's just for me, not my favorite genre. Okay? Least favorite genre. Very least favorite genre.
I used to like them until the whole grown-ass man imprints on baby thing. And then I found out she was Mormon, and I'm like, that tracks. Okay.
She doesn't know what you're talking about.
I don't like
you're giving
vampires.
A spoiler, but you're giving a spoiler.
I know you can't give me spoilers, so no spoilers. No spoilers. I don't know what you're talking about, so don't go any deeper into it. I have not watched this. I don't know. All I know is that they're vampires and they sparkle, and that's about that's the last fucking shit I know, okay? So don't tell me anymore.
There's such better vampire stuff out there that we could introduce you to.
True Blood and anything Anne Rice came out with are better.
I'm not gonna like any of them, so there's no point in it. Except Mezzo told me when to watch. And it's out on Hulu right now. And it's like a comedy or something, kind of So anyway, I'm gonna watch that one. I forget what it's
Was
called.
it
I think it's like
that
Shadows in the Dark or something.
yeah, what
Something in the
we
dark.
do in the dark or something like that?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
hysterical.
am not
And
an Anne Rice vampire person. I did not watch Interview with a Vampire. See, I've never liked it. It's just never been my thing. Didn't like. The only vampire I ever liked was the Count on Sesame Street, and that is the only one. The rest of them I find stupid. I just can't get
You
into
gotta
it.
love David. Everyone loves David. Lost
I
Boys.
don't mind.
David.
Oh, David from Lost Boys. Okay.
No. I don't
Well,
know the
I was
Lost
just gonna
Boys.
say.
No.
I was just gonna say. I will say this until the cows come home. If you can go out into daylight, you are not a fucking vampire. That's one of their weaknesses. That's actually one of the things that makes them a vampire. Is
Ex-
like because if they can go out during the light, then they
well,
are almost invincible.
have you ever explained
They're
that to
almost invincible.
Blade? Because Blade doesn't follow those rules.
Like he's not really a vampire. He's half and half. He has all the strengths and none of the weaknesses. I don't consider him. I don't consider Blade a real vampire. Also, I don't understand the romantic appeal to vampires because they are cold. Like if one vampire is with another vampire, okay, they're already cool to the touch. Like they're used to that. But like a human, why would you want to fuck Frosty the Snowman? That's
I,
ridiculous to me. Why do you want to lay up with some frosty, cold motherfucker that's unalive? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm hearing you about Blade, but all I'm hearing right now is a no true Scotsman fallacy. I'm just saying.
Wait, it's so funny you say that because
No.
I put a clip
Uh-uh.
up. I have a clip coming out of Mezzo coming up and telling me he doesn't like vampires too. And at the very beginning of the clip, I said, "This sounds like vampires apologetics." They were like totally
Vampire
giving me vampire apologetics the other day. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end here. I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So join me tomorrow for more conversations. I might try this one tomorrow. I love when Thrail asks people if they can question their beliefs. My favorite fucking thing is that they can't. Like, they just can't. Okay? Like, that is just they should just come up and go, no, I can't. But they don't. They say they can, and then they prove they can't. But Robin, thank you for coming up. I love you. I really appreciate you. And Nicholas, thank you for coming up. I love you, and I
Much
appreciate
love.
you. And thank you for all the gifts, all the shares. Who are we? G-Spot. You guys, make sure you go check out What the Fuck Bible Stories with G-Spot and Jada. Okay, it's a podcast and it's funny as fuck. Go check that out. Who is live right now for the rating? Who can we raid? Benny. Benny is live. Everybody go raid Benny and tell him Crystal loves him. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you around the mean streets of TikTok and you.